Yeah, Prophet Marshall Occurrence back up in this. So this is gonna be kind of like an update. Good news, good news, good news. I just sent money out to yesterday, Cambodia in the Philippines. Two spots that I'm working with this year. This year. Cambodia and the Philippines. So, and I'm part Filipino, so I'm just glad to touch down and where some of my bloodline, where one of my bloodlines come from. So, I sent the offering down there to the Philippines and to Cambodia. I've been wanting to work with Cambodia, and that's now reality. So got that going. Then I sent some money back down there to the Tremé community, which is the oldest African American community in the world. And so I sent some money down there too. Some money is on the way to the Tremé, and it should be there about February 2nd. See, why y'all still hold the street codes and stuff? First of all, I'm a righteous man. I don't have to hold to all street codes. I hold the street codes that make sense. So some of it don't make sense. So I hold to what makes sense. A good deal of it does, but some of it don't. But see, I do have the luxury of not having to stick to all the G codes, and I'm still gonna get my respect. Well, I'm a prophet of God. I'm a prophet of God. I don't go to the police, but do I stick to all street codes? No, because I follow God. So, but I make it make sense, and it don't look like I'm dipping and dabbing in street codes, and I'm not. It won't look like that. But money has been sent to California, also the Mexicans out there, and like I said, the Tremé. The reason why I don't mind telling my plans is because, like, with street people will care about their plans being told, and because the ops is listening or whatever, I don't care about that, because my plans is in the hands of God. That's what it is. I don't care about that's what makes us the kingdom of God. It's gonna be some things that y'all care about that we don't care about. We don't care about them knowing our plans. Of course, I don't care. We don't care. I'd rather put it out for spiritual warriors to know what's going on. You see what I'm saying? As far as the real efforts, because it's a lot of people that don't have any efforts concerning this. They don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's good it's refreshing for real spiritual warriors to see somebody that's really attacking back. So if not for any other reasons, man, I want real spiritual soldiers to see that we attacking back and that we're effective, so that you can follow the patterns and see, okay, he just gave an offering, okay, let's see what happened next. Not the spectators, God's people. I want you to see what's happening next. I want you to see what's happening next. So if you think it's about bragging and everything, some people, they can't hang on, man, when you start talking the new lingo, the new fresh spiritual lingo. You used to church as usual, and it's not church as usual. You know what I'm saying? I'm not church as usual. I don't embody church as usual. So, and when you don't smell like that traditional Christian, American Christianity, when you don't smell like that, a lot of people are going to shy away from you, because that's not what they're familiar with. So we're not looking for familiarity. We're looking for wins. I'm looking for wins. I don't care where you come from. That's why I'm working with Christians in Cambodia, Philippines. I'm pretty sure they don't make traditional gospel music like they do over here in America. But I don't care about that, because the true Christian goes beyond these traditions to just, you love Jesus like I do. That's how you know who's really pure. I'm not sticking to no, and then I can show you some black people that stick to a certain type of Christianity, and they don't never venture out to even minister or talk to Christians in the Philippines or in Europe. And I got a church I deal with in England, so I work with England. I work with Philippines, South America, Africa. So I don't see people doing that. I see people sticking to a certain type of Christianity, and that's what I'm shying away from. I'm not shying away from it for even reasons why other revolutionary people are revivalists. They shy away from it for because it doesn't represent the fullness of Christianity, or just like I said, kind of. But for me, I shy away from it for more than one reason, because they're not addressing spiritual warfare. They're not on the front lines with us, and so we just got to kind of leave them behind and we'll catch up to them when we get to the heaven. That's that's how I look at it. We catch up to them later, but we can't get distracted with what their position is right now in this battlefield, and this war is real. If you think I'm a gamer or some video game little whiz kid type of person, listen, buddy. Let me tell you something, man. Don't try to demonize me because I got a brain. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to demonize me because I still look young, because I got rich. I got what they call good genes. I don't put it like that, but you know what I mean. Don't try to demonize me because I got good genes and try to make up all this stuff where I look good and young. I've always looked young because I got a lot of bloodlines. You know what I'm saying? And so don't we gotta get the corny people out the way. We gotta that's the main thing first and foremost. That's why I keep doing these videos. No matter how many views it get, we got to get corny people out the way, because we ain't going to let them play it like they was smooth and cool and collected, and they was cornballs, you know what I'm saying? And that's that. They position was cornballs. And so you think I'm going to just, listen, you think I'm going to just let that slide and let that and let them look cool in the process of looking like a cornball? No, that's a 7 hour. You was like a cornball just like 2 months ago. The whole building I was living in was in a cornball position 2 months ago. Now you realize it's real, and it's real in the field, right? Right here, right? Yeah, that part. Now you switching up. Okay, well then that's you. But I can hold you to being a cornball, where you played a position and you didn't know who I was, and so all you're relying on is me to hold you. I gotta let it go. If I don't let it go, you're going to look like the cornball, and ain't nobody going to be able to say nothing because they know the position you played. You see what I'm saying? See how they rely on me to let it go? Well, all I got to do is remind people they put me in this building for the wrong reasons. I'm stupid. Now look at the situation. Okay, now quiet is kept. Now quiet is kept, right? So man, I just I don't even trip off people. At first I used to trip off people. I don't even trip off people no more. It's one thing, to trip off people. I stopped tripping off these lames a long time ago. I still be laughing, but I stopped tripping off of them seriously a long time ago. See, what people don't know about me personally, I come from North Carolina, but I always had the potential to be a big city kid. You know what I'm saying? Where I could have been in LA, I could have been in New York, I could have been in Chicago, because I always had these goods, man. I was born in Charlotte, but it was for my protection, so that I didn't get caught up in those things. That was for my protection. Charlotte, for me, I speak for me and me alone. I was born there, I believe, for my protection. Because if I would have been born anywhere else, how I am, I probably would have been, I might have been out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the greats out there. Probably didn't even make it to music. Might have wouldn't made it to music. I might have would have. Don't know. But Charlotte was being born in Charlotte was for my protection. But as you can see, with my mentality, I ventured out. Now see, white people gonna tell you, oh, this person is autistic, that's why you're moving around. Man, first of all, bro, I'm not even slightly, mildly autistic. You can bring them other people around me like you did in San Francisco with Frank, the little light-skinned dude that's autistic. That's him. That's him. That's not me. Me and him come from two different places, bro. We born to do two different set of mothers. So a white man gonna come in and diagnose things based on him being on the outside of the situation. I can't stand people like that. And it's not cause you you white, it's cause you on the outside. That's why I can't stand it. Yeah, that's the real reason. The real reason is you on the outside and you wet behind the ears over here. You might be good over there, but you wet behind the ears over here. And so is most of these Bill Cosby black kids. You wet behind the ears over here. I don't care what. Listen, and you can come from the hood. So what? You wet behind the ears when it comes to what we doing. You wet behind the ears when it come to me. As a prophet, you know nothing about it. And you don't know about these higher levels of real street principles. You don't know about that either. Well, we don't even go by no body language and what somebody thinking. I don't care about that. In 2026, I care about numbers. I care about reality. We don't care nothing about none of that stuff. Everybody that little lame stuff people harping on, what the Bill Cosby kids harping on. You can't let some of these black people fool you. They Bill Cosby kids. That's how I put it. You can use that for yourself. They Bill Cosby kids, like the Huxtables. So, the Huxtables is going to go to the police, the Freemasons, the Freemason police. I'm going to show you what the problem is. They going to go to, the community and play games, and they think they down with the community and all of that. And they going to have all the paraphernalia of blackness, you know what I'm saying? They're going to have all that paraphernalia. They're going to have all that residue, that resin of blackness, but, it ain't no soul, you know what I'm saying? I done been around Jamaicans. I already got respect from the Jamaicans. I'm just showing you people with soul. You know what I'm saying? I had a Jamaican friend that caught a body, killed somebody. Meet one of my good friends that right here in Brooklyn. Right here in Brooklyn. He already killed somebody and everything. Me and him used to be together, hang together, everything. I met his mother, everything, bro. So I already had a Jamaican friend that already saluted me and gave me respect and everything, that already caught a body and everything like that, and the point is, man, I've been around real energy. I've been around the real energy. That's how you have to tell people, because they'll think that you have it. They'll think you ain't been around no Jamaicans that killed people, that caught a body. I have. It's one thing to say I've been around a black dude that caught a body. It's another thing to say I've been around a Jamaican that caught a body. Kill somebody. Not shot somebody, kill somebody. Okay? That's right here in New York, right? Okay, so I was down in Church Avenue in the 30s with him, down there in the Jamaican neighborhoods. Everybody know where the 30s at? Okay? I walked through the 30s with him. I just walked through the 30s like I supposed to. Walking over there on Clarkson Avenue. Everybody know about that, Clarkson Avenue. Over there, Clarkson Avenue, then Church Avenue, and all the 30s. All the 30s. As in 30 numbers. The 30 Street, 30, 32, 33, the 30s. I call it the 30s myself. So I was already over there. So imagine me being not authentic. That's what you want to think. That's what you want to think, bro. That's what I'm saying. You're not smart enough to know your own thoughts. I know your thoughts. You want to think that. But the truth is, man, the proof is in the pudding, man. I got too much information, too many good days in the right lane. You know what I'm saying? Too many good days in the right lane. I say it like, like a G from LA. Too many good days in the right lane. You know what I'm saying? Too many good days in the right lane that I can reference to over and over again. You know what I'm saying? I say it like a G from LA. I got too many good days in the right lane. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, man. I'm not from LA, you know what I'm saying? I'm just making it more colorful, you know what I'm saying? Just referencing to somebody else and how they would feel, you know, based on me knowing, seeing people from that area, you know? And, cause if you don't know, if you lived in Skid Row, I can say this in front of somebody from LA. If you lived in Skid Row, which a white boy would try to act like that means nothing, right? If you lived on Skid Row, what Skid Row in LA consists of is Compton, Long Beach, Inglewood, and Watts, and East LA with the Mexicans. Where you think, and how we know that is because that's the place where all the homeless people from LA go to. So I was among people from Compton, Watts, Inglewood. Now a white boy gonna play it like I was around somebody from downtown. You know what I'm saying? He gonna play it like I was around. I got respect from downtown LA. What do you mean? Like, if you don't live in LA, you don't know what that mean. It doesn't mean, that doesn't make sense, right? Like, all those people don't come from downtown in LA. You know what I'm saying? They come from certain neighborhoods, and most of the neighborhoods they come from is obviously poverty-stricken neighborhoods. They just go down to Skid Row. So I was around that type of energy is what I'm saying. I was around that type of energy. So, you know, was I down in Compton? I went through Compton. I can say I went through Compton in my life. I can say I actually my soul went through Compton, which means something, especially as a spiritual person. I can say my soul went through Compton. Okay, but you didn't. You never been through Compton one day in your life. Okay, so then that's why I don't compare myself to people like you, because I've had the heart to do things that you wouldn't do. And so imagine me being compared to a mind reader or somebody like that. That's not our world. That's otherworldly, man. A prophet is not otherworldly. I'm right here in the real world talking about the real world. So, you know, I've been through Compton. I've been around people from all those different places. And I think that's good enough. If I've been through the streets of LA, where all these people come from those places, okay, and I got respect, I got saluted, and when the police came to me, I said, I can't tell you nothing. When he asked me who these people are, I can't tell you. I can't tell you nothing. Okay, so I got an LAPD person that can vouch for what I've actually said. Not because I paid them off. I ain't got no money to pay them off. Okay, because I'm just saying. You know, they can say he looked me in my face and said, I can't tell you. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you heard from the streets different things, because ignorant people, roaches gonna talk different things. So you got to get to the horse's mouth from the roaches, you know. So yeah, I got somebody from LA. You know, I can get police to voucher. See, when you get to a certain level, you can get police to voucher. Okay, well, he didn't do this. He didn't do all of that. He didn't go all the way. He could have, but he didn't. He could have did this, but he didn't. Okay, you know, for whatever reason. The reason is because I'm not in the business of police work, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, me being a prophet, you don't think God gonna want me to call the police? You don't think, if me being a prophet, even though, let's just say, I'm in a certain place in life, but God knows obviously who I am. You don't think he gonna utilize police against people playing around me? What you think God gonna do? Stick to G codes? God don't stick to G codes. So see, that's where it get tricky with somebody like me. For me, in the past, I used police to shoot you in the head. And I ain't gonna snitch. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use police to shoot a crazy person in the head. It's different how you look at it. You know, you acting crazy, you know. That's how I used to think in the past. I'll use their arms without snitching. And if you crazy, I'll use their arms to shoot you in the head. That's the old me. Now, I don't even deal with them at all. But I'm just showing you how my mind thinks. Security? No, not necessarily all the way like that. Just arms. Just arms, okay? I'll use their arms and you'll get shot in the head if you're still acting crazy. You know, because like I said, me being a man of God, God wants me to utilize those with arms. I mean, you know, so it gets a little tricky. So see, remind you, I could be trying to stick to codes myself, but God got his hand on me, and God is doing what he's doing. You see what I'm saying? So DC, only the smart know what I just said. So you know, but I'm in a nice medium when it comes to the police. Let's just put it like that. And I ain't never put nobody in prison. I ain't never put nobody in jail. See, the main thing is from Bart Simpson, because Bart Simpson is these Bill Cosby kids, these Bill Cosby black people. You know, we ain't gonna ever get them mixed up with, and a Black Panther should be talking about this, and anybody that's really pro-black should be talking about this, because we ain't all the same. You know, a Bill Cosby kid gonna think snitching is stuff that they ain't put nobody in jail. You know, snitching is, let's put it like this. Say it like Suge Knight. Let's put it like this. The fruition of snitching is somebody's in jail. Okay, that's the harvest, or the fruit. The fruit of snitching is someone's in jail. I ain't never put nobody in jail, and so I don't let Bart Simpson come in and talk when I ain't never put nobody in jail. You feel me? And that's that. That's what snitching is, buddy. And listen, you ain't got no records. I know for sure you ain't got no records of me putting nobody in jail. Now my brother, Tremé Houston, done put somebody in jail. You know what I'm saying? He put his own cousin in jail. You know what I'm saying? So that's a rat. That's a snitch. Okay? When you know your cousin was on parole, when you know he was gonna violate if he do anything, you know what I'm saying, out here in these streets, you know he was gonna violate, and for you, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know, once you make a mistake like that, man, for most black people, you can't come back from that. When you put your cousin in prison, he's still in there now. My cousin's still in there now. I just wrote him. I just sent the kite to the prison maybe like a month ago. So I done wrote him since I've been here in this room. You know what I'm saying? I done wrote my cousin in prison or whatever. Just let him know what the politics is. Let him know about these Freemasons and Illuminati going wild on the streets. Yeah, I put him up on what's going on. I mean, that's a luxury if you got somebody to let you know what the climate and the condition of the streets are. So that's what I did. I let him know, you know, what's going on in the streets and everything. And with these Freemasons for gang stalking and running wild and everything. I told him not to trust no Freemasons and everything like that. So, you know, I put him up on what it is, you know what I'm saying? And but that's somebody that's been in prison for like over 10 years. Solid. Not getting out, still in there. You know what I'm saying? Because when my brother snitched on him, that put him in prison for 10, 12 years. Here's the punchline. With no chance of parole. That's snitching. You want to talk about snitching? I know what snitching is, buddy. You put somebody in prison for 10 years, 12 years. That's snitching, buddy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't pay attention to Bill Cosby kids and Bart Simpson. These people that grew up on the 80 movies, 18, G.I. Joe. You know, you the type of black boy that grew up on G.I. Joe and A-Team and, you know, Ghostbusters and Gremlins and you know, you haven't strayed too far from that all-American portrait, which you really wasn't part of. You might have been in the picture, but you really wasn't considered they equals even back then. You know, you never really was considered. You was the black guy, not the American, the black guy. You know, so you know, you see the difference between just being American or the black guy. You know, so we never was. They never made us equal in this country. It never was. It still ain't. It's still not equal now. That's why people still talking. You don't think they know and they in the politics? Why are they talking then? Because they know, cause if it was equal, then they would be stressing that. All these politicians, like Ilhan Omar, you know, Ilhan Omar would be stressing that it's equal. She ain't stressing that it's equal. All these other black people, all these other Africans, they not stressing that it's equal. They all talking. You know, all of them, Letitia James, you know what I'm saying? Her too. Like they all stressing that this stuff is not equal. Okay, so then what would you think? What you gonna think? I mean, it's never been right. That's basically it. It's never been right. It's not right now. If these black politicians talking about things, they still harping on things. They living in a whole different world. Well, it's kind of all good. You know what I mean? They got everything they got. They got everything they need. You know, they got food, they got everything. They still talking. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know it ain't good. It ain't good. I pay attention to black politicians. The black politicians still talking like it's kind of funny. It's still Ari and all that. Then that tells me it's not all good. Because this is a person that got everything they need, basically. The Letitia James, I'm pretty sure she got everything she need. She got probably a nice car. And I'm not saying nothing negative about that, but she living good. I mean, and so for her to still be coming out, still dealing with stuff, look at the stuff she's still dealing with, look at all the other stuff. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. That means you could have success, you still could deal with stuff as a black person. They not gonna tell you it's racism. You gotta play chess, you gotta understand chess. They not gonna tell you it's racism, but they still gonna make invisible moves of racism. You understand? Where it's invisible to you, or it's invisible to the eye. It's invisible to the eye, but it is racism. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand this. You gotta understand racism basically came after slavery. Racism was cost of living and money. That's racism now. They ain't gonna call you a derogatory or a racial slur. They gonna take, we do that ourselves. The real racists is that don't do that no more. They done switched over to using money as racism. That's why you can't get to their neighborhoods unless you rich. And by the time you get to their neighborhood as a rich person, you done interacted with so many white people, you already conditioned, you know what I'm saying, to act a certain way when you get there. And they know that. They know anybody that make it here that's black, they're going to be conditioned a certain way. Where you feel like white people is good, you feel like it's good between you and white people and everything like that. They know you ain't coming up in there separated, you know what I mean? They know you more unified with white people. They going to talk their language and see how it bounce off of you, and they know you good. You know what I mean? They know that. They know that. And black people know how to, you know, if you culture, you know how to speak their language. Sure, you know, I do. Where did you go? Do you got this? I do. You know their little language? Come on. And I'm saying that's okay. I'm just saying, you know, it's more to it. You feel me? Like it's more to it, you know? And like I said, you know, racism is money these days. Okay? That's why a stupid man or a stupid woman is stupid. You know? It's about money. You know, if I can keep you without money, if I can keep you barely making it, I'd rather do that. The racists rather do that. Are you barely making it? You ain't got no money. That's what racism is. You know, your woman ain't gonna, he gonna look at it like the trickle down effect. Your woman ain't gonna respect you. You're gonna be half a man, the half a man you're supposed to be. You know, and then you're gonna realize I got you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not who you know, half of these black women that don't hold us down, they not holding us down because we ain't got no money. That's the reason. Man, look how a black woman built. The average black woman, even some of them that's crazy. if they not holding us down, why you think it is? Why? Because we ain't got no, if we have money, you think they ain't gonna work it out? They gonna work it out. Man, listen, you know black women, right? If you got bread, she not gonna work it out. If it's within reason. She ain't gonna work it out. Of course she gonna work it out. She gonna try to work it out with you because why can't you work it out? Why can't you? So see, you still wind up dealing with your life being affected by these white folks because of the trickle-down effect of money and how it affects your life. That's how they got you. Instead of the masses, okay, how I'm gonna be racist towards all these people now? I'm gonna use money. You know, I'm gonna separate you from me. First of all, you're gonna be separated from me. You ain't gonna be able to get to my neighborhoods. You ain't gonna be able to get to where I live. And your quality of living ain't gonna be good. You're gonna be living among roaches, real roaches and human roaches, and you ain't gonna have no quality life. You ain't gonna have no quality life. You know what I'm saying? You gonna resent America, and you gonna resent those who torture you. You gonna resent the Americans, and they like that too. That's the result of pain. That's the fact that what we doing is effective. You know what I'm saying? If you resent us and you hate us, now they get off on that because they know they effective. You know what I mean? That's a sign of it. You know, if you lashing out and you talking halfway already and everything, and you know, and then I'm effective. You know what I mean? Cost of living and money is what they did. Minimum wage too. Those three things. That's why any politician will not talk with a straight face about cost of living. They'll talk about jobs. They'll talk about everything else. No, a living wage. Excuse me. They will not talk with a straight face about a living wage. That's the fourth installment. You got cost of living, minimum wage, and a living wage. Third installment, I guess. But the living wage is what they won't talk about. They ain't gonna talk about living wage. Okay? They ain't gonna talk about a living wage because it forces all these corporations to pay people what they deserve to be able to stand on their own. So what they expect black people to do is to get in the shack with your mama and your daddy and work from your mama house and work from your uncle house and work from your auntie house and work from your cousin house. That's what they expect you to do. They expect you to go make it work like a slave in a shack like we used to be. They probably get off on that too. You in a shack like you used to be with black people and all y'all working together and y'all working the plantation and y'all all living together like slaves. You know what I'm saying? But you can't stand on your own 2 feet with your job. Let me explain something to you. I've taken many days to talk about a living wage. First of all, a living wage is the biggest money conversation, hands down. Let me explain something to these rich black folks. Everybody can't be no actor. Every black person can't be no actress. Every black person can't be no entrepreneur or no mom and pop ownership business owner, okay? Everybody can't do that. It's not because they're not capable, they can't do it. You get it? Okay, so everybody can't do it, right? Right. So that's not fixing it for all black people on ground level. Talking about entrepreneurship. Some of these aunties don't want to be no mom and pop owner. Okay? So then what? She's not an actor, she's not an actress, she's not a singer. You see what I'm saying? She gets left behind and you become an out of touch black person talking about entrepreneurship. While you leaving thousands of black people behind that ain't got nothing to do with it, ain't gonna never have nothing to do with it. Ain't trying to hear none of that stuff, all that stuff. They ain't trying to hear the wisdom from it, the information about it, or nothing. They just trying to get to the bag, bro. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest money conversation, with that being said, is the cost of living. I mean, a living wage. A living wage is the biggest money conversation because that covers everybody. You understand? Okay, so you can talk about entrepreneurship all day long. You can talk about all this stuff, all these dreams and visions and all this stuff. That's what most forward black people gonna be talking about. Progressive black people gonna be talking about all this stuff, and you're gonna miss thousands and thousands upon thousands of people that don't want nothing to do with it. They don't want nothing to do with it. Some people just want to, I'm gonna tell you something. Some people just want to put their head down and get money. And that's it. They don't want to be in nobody's face. They hate this country. They just want to get money and be on their own. They don't want to deal with nobody. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people built like that. I don't want to deal with nobody. I just want to go, like most black people, if I could go to a warehouse and I don't see nobody, I can clock in, clock out, I'll do it right now. Why not? If I can go to point A to point B, I ain't got to deal with nobody. I ain't got to see nobody. I get a check I get a check in a card. I don't see nobody. Why would I go do that? Especially if it's nighttime. Third shift. I'll go work third shift at a warehouse and I don't see nobody. People are burnt out on people. We can't stand these people. We can't stand each other. And it's not racism. We burnt out on each other. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't feel that way, I doubt that you're really here in America. That's the problem. You know, if you walk around like we all together and all that on that vibe like that, you a Bill Cosby kid, bro. You're a Huxtable. You part of the Huxtables. Most of us are burnt out on each other. We can't stand each other. I don't even want to talk to nobody. Don't even talk to me, bro. Like, you know, and is something wrong with me? No. I have adjusted to these people. I've adjusted to the foolishness of the people. I don't even deal with them. You know what I'm saying? You can't get everybody with that mentality to get on the wave to go out here and do what it takes to be among these people, because they don't want to. The main thing they're gonna be thinking about is all these people they got to deal with. To start a mom and pop and all that, I don't want to deal with all these people. I just want to go make money. That's it. And duck my head, put my head down and make money. That's all I want to do. And a lot of black people, that's a lot of the wave they own, bro. I know I ain't the only one. If I could go to a third shift warehouse and make money and make pretty decent money on my own, I don't see nobody, I don't deal with nobody, I just clock in, clock out. Why would I do that? Think about it. That's the true test of being lazy or not lazy. If I gave you a job where you ain't gotta see not one person, I'm talking about literally like a ghost town. You just go into this work site, you clock in, you clock out, you get paid. You wouldn't do that? You ain't really doing nothing at nighttime anyway. Why wouldn't I do that? I'll go work at a warehouse. I don't see nobody. That's the true test. Now, if you say no to that, you lazy. you definitely lazy. But you could say somebody's weak for not dealing with the public. That's what many Africans are going to say. But you listen, you be the main one quitting the same job. You quit the same job, don't you? Oh, let's talk about it. That's 7 hours. Let's talk about how you quit these jobs all the time. Everybody do it. I'm talking about all Americans. You quitting the job all the time, bro. They ain't fire you, you quit. Stop lying. Hey, they ain't fire you, you quit. Why you quit? Was it the workload? I guarantee you half of these Americans, especially black people that quit, you quit because of the people. That's why you quit. Which proves my point. Which comes full circle to my point. People are burnt out on these people. Why you quit the job? It was too hard for you? No, it wasn't too hard for you. You quit the job because these people at the job, that's what made you quit. That's what made you quit. Bottom line. Now, does that make you weak? No, it does not. You just got an intolerance for suckers and lames and clowns. You know what I mean? And I'm the same way. So the biggest money conversation is living wage. All these rappers talking about entrepreneurship. I know you're excited because you know it works. This is an opportunity. This is a way that it works. But the thing is, it doesn't work for everybody. You gotta think about black people. You know your own people. You think everybody gonna go that way you going? No. You know that. You know all these black people ain't finna get off the porch and go do what you doing. No. So then what? You leaving behind thousands of people, that's what. And you're only talking to, like America, the pick of the litter. That's 7 hours. You only talking to the pick of the litter. That's what they do. That's what white folks do. They go get the pick of the litter and leave everybody else behind. And you practice the same principle, and you done been here among black people. But you come among black people and talk about entrepreneurship, which the white man do the same thing, because all he trying to do is utilize you, because he know that money coming back to him. He know all that money gonna come back to him, not just you. And you sound like the white man leaving 1,000 people behind, thousands and thousands of black people behind. Every black person can't be no entrepreneur. No. So then you got to talk about that to certain people, to certain black people. So then what's your main conversation for every black person to get money? You don't got it, do you? See, that's what I'm talking about. You don't even got that conversation. You don't got a conversation, the biggest money conversation, which is a living wage. It's a term. I didn't make it up. A living wage, by definition. This is the conversation that none of these politicians want to talk with a straight face. They'll breeze over it, but they ain't gonna talk about a living wage openly and as fluent and fluidly as they talk about everything else. They'll talk about everything else, comb a fine tooth comb through everything else. But when it comes to a living wage, they act like they're elementary. All of a sudden, they're simpleton. You know what I'm saying? They're simp when it comes to this living wage. Yeah, that part. You know why? Because it puts pressure on all these big corporations to pay people what they owe people. So I can just work a slave plantation and just pay these people low amounts of money where they can't even get up on their own feet. But I'm getting the buku money. I'm the one getting the lion's share. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting the lion's share while y'all working on the plantation. See, so that messed up the whole game. The whole hustle is, okay, I get the lion's share and I just work these people for a low amount of money, you know, just enough to get a little food, a little pizza on the weekend, some new clothes, some new kicks. You know, most black people buy the culture, but we talk about the culture, that's good enough. Long as I look good, smell good, eating good, that's all we see on the internet, right? So long as I'm doing that, I'm good, I'm Gucci. That's how they got you. And you ain't even got a pot to piss in. And you ain't gonna get up in a window to throw it out of. You ain't gonna get that. You ain't gonna get that because they not fighting for a living wage. So see, listen, I'm having the biggest money conversation it is. While all these rich black people, richer than me, got more money, you listen, you a black man or a black woman that can't even have the biggest money conversation. Make that make sense. Man, show me when Jay-Z talked about a living wage. Show me when Jay-Z talked about a living wage for black people. Show me when Beyonce talked about a living wage. Beyonce I ain't never heard her talk about a living wage. Even with Tupac was talking about all the stuff he was talking about. He ain't talking about a living wage. Man, see, the prophet is on a whole different level. I'm like in the Twilight Zone, looking at all these dead folk. And you know what I mean when I say that. Just like Tupac said, you know, coming up among a dying breed. You know, people dying. They not cut like they used to be, where they go educate themselves. They go find out information. I'm not doing anything abnormal. I'm going and finding out information that's available to you. Why you couldn't find the information? But you can sit down here and talk about entrepreneurship all day long. You can talk about all this stuff all day long. All night long. You talk about all this, all this entrepreneurship all night long, bro. When you turn the line of Richie when it comes to this entrepreneurship. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. You become Lionel Richie. Start talking about because you going all night long talking about that entrepreneurship. Everybody can't be no entrepreneur. And no disrespect to Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie, you know, no disrespect to him. Now, you know, show me one person. Show me one of these rappers. None of these rappers talked about a living wage, man. That's what the prophet, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know about y'all. Because I don't see nobody that sit up and thought about it, man. Like, and then how am I the only one? See, the prophet don't want to be the only one, but you wind up being the only one. You the only one. You the only messenger, man. You know what I'm saying? And do I want it to be like this? No. Cause I mean, how am I gonna be the only one? I mean, how effective I'm gonna be? I'm gonna work. I think like a boss. I want to utilize all these people to figure this stuff out. I want to utilize everybody to be out here talking about a living wage. Not me, the only one. See, that's how you know I ain't a cultic person. A cultic leader, he glad to be the only one talking about it. Oh yeah, so he can draw people to him. You know what I'm saying? He glad to be the only one doing this and doing that and doing that. All I'm talking about is I'm the only one. You see the difference? Why everybody else ain't doing it. But I speak as if they should be doing it. The cult leader ain't gonna act like they should be doing it. He gonna be like, well, you know, I'm the only one. He ain't gonna even reference to other people doing it. He don't even want them to get the idea to do it. That part. He don't even want them to get the idea to do that. That stops his whole niche. You know, he's the only person talking this weird language or something. See, the prophet is different. It's completely opposite. You know, I come out talking information nobody is talking about, and you can't tell me why they didn't pinpoint it like I did. Why they didn't pinpoint living wage like I did. We talk about everything else, but you done lived here a long time. And then when I'm talking about all these rich black people, you more cultured than me. You know all about this country. You done been everywhere. You done lived everywhere. You done seen everything. But and you still ain't talk. You don't use the biggest money conversation. After you done seen all this stuff, you done seen all this stuff, and you don't have the biggest money conversation. That's all I'm saying. The biggest money conversation is a living wage. If you don't have a living wage, you're going to be living with your mama. You're going to be living with your mama now. You ain't got the biggest money conversation. Huh? Or you don't have the understanding. You don't got it. You don't got the living wage. You're going to be living there with your mama. And you just working. See, us as black people, oh, long as she working, yeah, she working over there. That's what your mama did. Yeah, she got her job. We congratulated each other just for being employed, but then the money don't get you out your mama house. Oh, I know, because, man, come on, bro. Come on. I come from a black family. Your family just glad that you working. That's it. They not, white folks is going to ask and be inquisitive about how much money it is. They're inquisitive. Well, how much money, so how much you get a job at a white person's house. Oh, well, how much does it pay? Did it got 401k? Do you got 401k? You got, so how much, how good is the wages? You know, they talking about the money part. They ain't talking about just being employed. Black people for decades have just been good with being employed. That's it. And your family don't put no other pressure on you. They just glad you got a job. And really, the pressure shouldn't be put on you. The pressure should be put on the government to make a living wages for people. Because they know the jobs they handing out ain't no living wage. We working all these jobs in the black neighborhood. Ain't none of them can get you out your house and get you some rent and get you an apartment. Listen, a living wage is enough money for rent, food, and shelter, and clothes, and a little bit of entertainment. I threw that part on there. Because you need that as a human being. You need a little bit of entertainment. These days, a phone is basically everybody's entertainment. That's what it is. People don't even get TVs no more. They just get they get a phone. Okay? But you don't even got enough money at one job to pay for your rent. The average person, how many pay periods you got to pay your rent? How many pay periods you got to save up to pay your rent? 2 and 3. A real living wage, you should be able to pay your rent within 2 pay periods. 2 to 3. If 4, it'll be the whole month. How you gonna do it? And that's how some people do it. They gotta pay. They gotta work 4 weeks to get a living wage. They buy food throughout the month. They still gotta stack and get the living and get the rent after 4 weeks, after 4 pay periods. You know, some people probably got it set up like that. Well, they got to understand it with the landlord. Hey, I ain't gonna have this money till I get 4 pay periods. You shouldn't have to get no 4 pay periods to get rent. We not used to it. We not used to what white people do. They can pay their rent with 1 pay period. So let's understand what a living wage is by definition. A living wage by definition is enough money. What I'm gonna add to the obvious, the logical part. It's enough money to pay for rent in 2 or 3 two pay periods. We're going for 2 pay periods, because white people can do it in 1 pay period. 1 check, for 40 hours. That's it. They can get rent off of that 1 pay period. They don't have to wait 2 and 3 pay periods to save money. You don't know no better. You need to go, you should get a book on a living wage if you can. If you're lucky, a good book. A good author that writes a good book on a living wage. A living wage is what these politicians do not. They'll talk about money and do Jedi mind tricks. Jobs, they'll say they added all these jobs to the workforce. That's the main political Jedi mind trick. That's the main Jedi mind trick. Them jobs are, do you know, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this right quick. Do you know that the jobs that they add, you ain't gonna be able to get that same job. You ain't gonna find no way to get and apply, most likely, for them jobs that they say they added to the workforce. You ain't gonna be able to do it. You know where them jobs gonna be at? It's gonna be on a job website where 1,000 people apply for the same position, which means they gonna pick the pick of the litter, which means you ain't gonna get the job. You don't think these jobs that they added to the workforce, that the politicians say they added to the workforce, you think that's gonna end up down in your neighborhood, or it's gonna end up on the website? Think about it. Just networking. You know, whoever's providing those jobs, the politicians are making people aware of. They gonna take and maximize that opening and put it on a website. Think about it. If you're an employer, and you got a job opening that the White House is talking about, you just gonna let it sit and let people come into the actual job site, or just wait for them to apply for it? Think about what I'm saying. These jobs that they added, they saying they added it, right? But let's go to what they say they added. It's a job site, right? They didn't go put it somewhere and no one's there, right? Someone's there, right? And this guy's an employer, right? I'm just guessing. The bottom line is you're not working for the government, the White House, right? When they say they added jobs, that's some other business and employers, right? And we need to go and do more in-depth study on the jobs they say they added. Because this is the Jedi mind trick. The bottom line, I know for sure, these jobs that they say they added, you don't have access to it. The jobs that these politicians, they say, yeah, we added 30,000 jobs. That's the Jedi mind trick. Them 30,000 jobs, I guarantee you they ain't in the hood. They ain't in the hood. They ain't in the ghetto. They ain't nowhere on the bus line for you. And then even if it was, you can't go and straight apply for the job right there for a job they was talking about in the White House. You ain't gonna be able to just apply for a job like that. That job is gonna be on the website, I'm telling you. Because if not for any other reason, they're gonna maximize that position. They're gonna maximize the opportunity, better to say, to where they get the perfect person for them on that job. If I'm an employer and the White House is talking about a job that I offer, what do you think I'm going to do next? I'm going to put that opening that the White House talked about up on the website and get the best employee. That's what you would do. That's what I would do. That's what you're going to do. And you're hoping this person stays with the company for 20, 30 years. That's what you're looking for. So you're going to put that up on the website and get the best person, which means thousands of people going to apply for that same job. And they're going to have degrees. Those job openings require degrees, right or wrong. Yes, that's another part of it. All these jobs that the White House talking about they added, I guarantee you most of them requires degrees. Oh, so they just added a job at a Burger King shop. Who said Burger King shop? It's not Burger King, it's a Burger King shop. They just added jobs at a Burger King shop. They just added 5 jobs at a McDonald's shop. They just added 10,000 jobs at a Burger King shop. Where now all these black people can flood to it. Now that would be ideal. But then back to a living wage. You're not getting that. You're not getting it. If you're working at a Burger King shop, most likely not. You're not getting a living wage. Most of these jobs they add requires degrees. Okay, that's back to common sense. That's back to common sense. So you think these jobs they added was just, a job around the way around there. Yeah, the White House talking about they had some jobs now, so opening down the street. That's what they want you to think. They want you to think, when I tell you I've added 30,000 jobs, they want you to think, now I can go outside and go down the street. They know how Americans think. Okay, how does this apply to me? Oh, okay, now there's probably more jobs around the street, down the street somewhere. But it's not. But it's not. Those 30,000 jobs are put on a website. Think about it. You know how Americans think. That them jobs, 1,000 people gonna apply for them same 30,000 job positions. So you're gonna have what? 30. Let's just say at least 90,000 people applying for these jobs. 3 people for each job opening, right? For each job position, it's going to be 90 people applying for the jobs. Let's just go for 100,000. 100,000 people for 30,000 job openings. Okay? There's going to be 100,000 people. How you going to get that job? They're going to give it to the person with the best degrees and all that credentials and the best portfolio and resume and all of that stuff. Stuff you ain't even got together. You barely got a resume. Listen, your resume was made on a resume app like the rest of us. You didn't have nobody sit down and make a portfolio and a resume. You downloaded an app for your resume. You made your own little resume and downloaded it and put it in your little folder in your emails, and that's what you did. That's simple. That's a simple resume and a portfolio. While these other people got all these pictures, they got pictures with their little. Think about it. With their resume, they got pictures beside it and everything. You scroll down, they got pictures of them working and certain. They can add a little picture beside of it where they was actually doing the stuff. They got pictures where they was doing it. You ain't got no pictures where you was doing your stuff, was you? Listen. You ain't got no pictures of you working them jobs you used to work. They got pictures and everything. They got pictures with their little helmets on. They were working if they was working at a big old plant, they got these pictures with the helmet on and everything, they scrubs on. They got all them pictures beside their position. They gonna pick them. You come in with a butt-naked resume. Well, I did this in 92. I did this in 2003. That's my resume, that's your resume. I was here in 2005. I was here in 2012. That's where I was at right there. That's where I was at right there. Your resume say, that's where I was at right there. That's what our resume say. Hey, these people with the best expert resumes, they got pictures beside the work history. Come on, you know they do. You know they do. Man, some of the apps, they go, look, when you put little pictures beside each resume, work position, when you put little pictures beside it, think about it, showing you interacting with the employer, with the boss man, showing you interacting with the manager, your certificates, everything, they got all that up there. Who you think they gonna pick? They gonna pick that guy. Oh man, look at the pictures. You act like you know the guy. He gonna say, I felt like I knew you just looking at the pictures. You know what I mean? And you got a butt-naked resume. You come in with a butt. I was here. This is where I was in 2005. and your resume might say sponsored by Star Resume. Got the little thing on it and everything. Sponsored by Star Resume. They got the little tag on it on your resume, everything. Sponsored by Star Resume. Those jobs are for people that they add to the workforce. Those are jobs for people with credentials that we don't have, with degrees that we don't have, and you could say it's for mostly educated people, which is white people. Most of those jobs are for white people, ain't it? Man, come on, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Most of them jobs they add to the workforce is for white Americans. And how we know for sure is because it requires degrees, and we ain't got no degrees like that. Come on now, come on. Some of us do, but come on, let's not be so smart we're stupid. Most of those jobs are for educated people, and it's not us. Come on, let's don't be so smart we're stupid here. Most of those jobs are for white Americans because they're educated. So then, there you go. There you have it. I sliced up the whole pie for you. I put out the whole pie for you. I put out the whole Sicilian slice. I put it in blocks for you. They got the jobs that the White House offers. White America does. We don't. We don't get those jobs. We don't get those jobs. So that ain't even applying to you. That ain't even applying to you. And there you have it. There you have it, buddy. That's the Sicilian slice right there, blocked off, cut off. In blocks. There it is for you. White America is getting those jobs that are added to the workforce every time they do. Who else is getting them? You ain't getting that. And no, don't be no felon. Don't be no felon. You definitely ain't getting no jobs the White House talking about. But you still need to work to be productive and to get out of the lifestyle that you've been living. And see, that's another unproductive area where okay, you did a felony, but you can't, now you got to do these rinky-dink jobs, you know what I'm saying, and you ain't getting no living wage yourself. So what you put in the same predicament? You're going to be out here hustling before you know it. All you gotta do is get with a homie from back in the day, one of your cousins like homies, do like a cousin. He done invited you over. Yeah, come on in, man. He dancing and everything. Yeah, you got good in here, bro. Yeah, man, I got some burgers and everything and that, man. Listen, we got to start back hustling again, bro. He done said that for you done settled in. You already happy. For y'all done got high and everything. Oh, he talking about hustling. Yeah. Y'all ain't even got drunk yet. He talk your language. He already done let you know what it is. Yeah, man, we need to start back hustling. Yeah, y'all ain't even got high yet. You already happy. You already happy. And you back hustling. You know what I'm saying? All it takes is a homie to get you back hustling. That's all. That's all it takes. Because all he gonna say, man, come on, man, listen. A homie gonna say, man, come on, bro, listen. You out here working. See, that is them type of homies. You out here working, and you ain't getting paid your worth, man. You ain't, man, no, man. Look how hard you work that job. Look how hard you gonna say, but it's clean money and slow money, man. I know what they mean. Listen, I'm black just like you. I know about slow money, it's good money, the best money, all that stuff, man. But at the end of the day, that's not gonna equate the same amount of money. Now, right or wrong, it's not. It's not, bro. Whether it's slow, fast, or whatever it is, it's not gonna be what you need. You're not getting enough money to get out your mom's house. Look at you. You're a grown man living at your mom's house, man. That don't alarm you? That don't alarm you? No. Think about when you was a kid, you was a teenager. Now come up and speed up to now. You living at your mom's house, bro. No, bro. Listen. You can get back to being, doing legal work later. Just leave it. Look at it like that. Just leave that alone now. For now, you feel me? And come back to that later. Get your money right, and then go back to being legal. Go back to being legal, and then if you're lucky, if we're lucky, let's say we're lucky, right? If we're lucky, you can take that money and start a business or start. I'm serious, right? You already talking about entrepreneurship. Well, listen, how you gonna get that money? How in the world you gonna get that money? That little job you got? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't saying stay in this and stay hustling for 50 years. I ain't talking about that. I mean, you just. I can't put a year on it. I can't say how many, but we ain't talking about hustling for 50 years, man. We gonna listen. You can go get this money and flip this money, and it makes sense, man. It makes sense for you to do this right now. Right now, it makes sense, bro. You get this money. Listen, you're gonna be feeling good. You're gonna be eating better. Everything. You're gonna be living better. Your psychology is gonna be better. Look at you, man. Look at the situation. You all thrown off over here catching buses and everything. Ain't got a car, nothing. Look at that, man. Look at that. It's like you a slave, man. Look at that, man. Look how they done dragged you backwards. And here we are in 2026, in the 21st century. Look at you, man. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Let me tell you something, man. Listen, you can get in and get out, man, and hit it and quit it. You know what I'm saying? Hit this and quit. Hit it and quit it, like James Brown said. We hit it and quit it. We get this money real fast, and we get out of this stuff, man. Listen, we get out of this. Everybody always talk the same language, man. We're going to get this money, we're going to get out. And then what happens? You wind up catching a murder, you wind up bucking somebody down. You know what I'm saying? You wind up bucking somebody down, and then you get caught up in all kind of conspiracy. Now you in the streets, you dealing with politics and all of that. Don't listen, he ain't going to talk none of the politics because he don't know the politics that's coming. He ain't going to talk about none of the politics that's coming. How you gonna talk about it? Then he ain't gonna want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna want to talk about that. He gonna want to be as positive about this as possible. He ain't gonna talk about no negative politics that could come from us hustling. And then that's what happens. Somebody done played with your family, done tried your family, something. Oh man, see? Now you deep in the streets. Now you off in these wars like the rest of the dudes out there. You know what I'm saying? Now you just focused on it. Now you ain't, now you don't even know. It's almost like a lost cause. You in the streets for money, but then there's other reasons now. Now you're in the streets to get revenge. Now you're in the streets to avenge your family and to avenge your loved ones and all of that, man. Somebody that had sex with one of your girls and everything. You know what I'm saying? You feeling some type of way. Now you deep in the streets trying to get revenge and all this. And you all in these politics like teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Now you deeper in the streets. Because of all these different things, you out there, sometimes not even for money, you out there trying to get revenge. What about that part? What about that part when you out there trying to get revenge and you ain't, You ain't trying to get money every day. You know what I mean? Or every moment in the day. So you should be able to make clean money. See, they didn't make it like this because they knew us. They knew us as black people. We physically endowed. I can walk from city to city, from state to state. I've done it on foot. A real African. I can walk from one city to another. I've done it. I've walked from one city to another city and seen the whole city and went downtown and went to another city. Walking. They know we physically endowed, man. They know that. You know, so why when you set up a workforce, when you know these black people are physically endowed, where they can work and walk and do, and they're physically endowed and they can just work for hours. Why you won't make a workforce that complement hard work, where if I work hard, I can get a good wage? Because he knew that was our strong suit. He seen the Mandingos. Remember, before we got, I ain't gonna say diluted, but before we intermingled with other races of people in America, before the slave owners started having sex with the Africans, man, they was bringing Mandingos over here. This the part they leave out of slavery. They show these little dudes, man, when they brought slaves here, they first of all, they got the pick of the litter, first of all, once again. That's the beginning of the pick of the litter. They ain't had nobody 5'8". They show you these dudes on Roots, dude look like he about 5'8", bruh. You think he gonna pick a slave that's 5'8" over all them big old Africans over there? No. So the most unrealistic part of these slave movies is that the dudes was like 5'8". That's common sense, man. Why a dude gonna buy him? Why he gonna buy if not for any other reason? Why he gonna buy a slave that's 5'8", bruh? He's struggling with the wheelbarrow. He's struggling with the buckets. He's struggling with the buckets. That's what we're gonna say. Black people, they struggling. He's struggling, ain't he? He's struggling. He's struggling with the buckets. He can't get past the buckets. He can't get past the bucket stage. He's struggling with the buckets. You think he's gonna bring him all the way to America? Some dude struggling with the buckets look like he'll be struggling with the buckets. He gonna get the Mandingos, which means 6'2" or better, 200 pounds, solid. Mandingo, women too, the big women. They was getting big women. Oh, he gonna get the little prissy little woman. The little prissy woman that was about back to back, about 5'8", about 5'5". She about 5'5". He gonna bring a little prissy woman from Africa that's about 5'5". Stop playing, bro. No. He gonna get the Mandingo, tall, slender. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. He gonna get those slender, tall women, about 6 foot even. Them tall, slender women. That's what he gonna get. So my point is, he brought all those Mandingo women and men over here, right? He seen how strong we was. He seen how much we can endure. Why when your workforce complement people that can work long hours and they can get a lot of money just for working hard in America, right? Why didn't he set up a workforce like that? Because that was our strong suit, was our physical abilities and endurance and our strength. So why he gonna if he racist, why he gonna make a workforce that complements that? Now you black, you gonna make a workforce that complement black endurance and black strength. Man, come on, bro, come on. You know what I'm talking about. You gonna make a workforce that says, hey, I know these dudes can work. So as long as they willing to work, I'm gonna pay them real good. Cause I know you can work. I know you can work. I know you can outwork these other people, even these white people. So I'm gonna give you. So you're gonna have to work, but you're gonna get the money. You're gonna get money. And once you get to a certain hour, I'm gonna double that. Once you get to a certain hour. See, that's how you do it. Once you get past 8 hours, I'm gonna double what you're already getting. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna double that. I might double it after 4 hours. I might double it after 4 hours. And then from however you want to work, 12 hours, 13, 15 hours, I double it. I start doubling it after 4 hours. Boom. You can't resist that, buddy. You can't resist that. See, that's a good employer. Oh, you gonna double it after about, oh, you gonna do me like that? Hey, black dude, oh, you gonna do me like that, man? You treating me like that? You treating me like that? You treating a brother, ain't you? You treat me, ain't you? Listen, man, I double it after 4 hours, half your shift, I'm doubling already, boom. That's gonna motivate you to go even further. I'm gonna double it already. If you just choose to work 8 hours, right? But you're gonna want to go further than that. You can get 12 hours, you can get 16, you can get 2 shifts, you can get 16 hours. And you already done doubled it halfway through the first shift. So that's a shift and a half already doubled. What you already getting. You getting that doubled. A shift and a half. You come on, you can't resist that, man. See, that's how it's supposed to be done. See, a black man approach money totally different, man. Like a hustler, man. That's what I'm saying. Think about it, man. Look at that money should have been double. You should be getting double. You should get a certain standard of money, and then and then the perks is at the job, I'm gonna give you double at some point on the hour rate. I'm gonna double that rate after a certain amount of time, and that's gonna motivate you to go further than 8 hours. And this is for big corporations that always got Monday 24/7 with it. That's what I'm talking about. Because that's what the slave work is. These big 24/7 corporations. You feel me? So that's going, it ain't no finish. It's not going to finish. Like a store shut down, it's not going to finish. So you can work as long as you want at these big corporations. I'm talking about the big ones. I'm giving you 16 hours. And I'm doubling it halfway through the first shift. You telling me you ain't gonna take that? I'm already looking out for you because I'm doubling it. I'm doubling what I'm paying you at rate for an hour rate, right? On hourly rates. I'm gonna double that after 4 hours, right? That's gonna motivate you. Yo, you can't play the system now. You can't. If you work consistently after 4 hours, that same shift, right? You can't play me now. I'm black too. You can't play me now. After 4 hours, okay, I'm gonna give you as much as you want. You want another 12 hours? See, you basically got to work another 12 hours. You're gonna have 2 shifts. You're gonna have two 8-hour shifts right there. I double it after 4 hours. That's 12 more hours you got to work. You just got to work 12 more hours basically. And I'm doubling it. It's doubled after 12 hours. Look at that. You telling me you ain't gonna do that? You telling me you ain't gonna do that? So I'm adding this all up in fractions. One-sixth of that, if I'm paying you double after 4 hours, you working 16 hours. So that's if I'm not mistaken, that's gonna be 4 over 16 through your shift. I'm gonna be giving you double. I just wanted to hit a fraction on it. That's what I'm sitting here thinking about. But I can sit down and write that down. But you see, I seen the 4, then I seen the 16. So you know what I'm saying. You see the numbers right. Okay, so I'm thinking. Basically, man, halfway through, less than halfway through, 4/16. I'm doubling it after 4/16. After 4 over 16, I'm doubling it. See, what you was looking for is for me to be a person to contradict themselves, or a person to be an enemy. But the truth is this, bro. This is the truth. You've already done enough for me to be your enemy. Let's first. No, hold up. It's one thing to be racist, right? It's another thing that you've done enough for you to be my enemy. Let's clarify this. Let's clarify this. That's all I'm doing. I just want to clarify it. Because see, that's where you'll get it mixed up with my energy. You'll get it mixed up with my energy because you don't want to take your part in the things you've done. As black people, you've already done enough for me to be your enemy. Legit, right? Legit. Okay, let's get that understood. See how good my situation is? So then you can't misunderstand my energy. You play, see, not all of you, but the people that played that position, where they talking about stuff that they thought I'd done, and they didn't like they know my life better. See, the arrogance of the Americans is they act like they knew my life better than I knew it. I know what I've done. That's why I challenge you on the details. What's the details? Because you Jedi mind tricking on the subject matter, and you're feeding the subject matter as if it has all these details. So what I want you to do is tell me the details. Show me the details. That's what they do in court. What's the details? Because you're feeding people the subject matter, and I know the details. I know the details. So, people are desperate, man. People are desperate. And what we have to do is let the first step is this. The first step is this. This is the first step. The first step is this. Acknowledge your part. Acknowledge what you've done. Acknowledge your position. Don't try to clean it up and look cool, because that's what a black person gonna do. You're gonna try to, because you more focus on what it looked like to people in the politics and everything, in the sport of the situation, and the culture of the situation. Okay, so for the sake of the culture of the situation, you're gonna try to make yourself look good, and there ain't no way you can look good in this situation. Rewind it if it went over your head. Rewind it if it went over your head. Because the position you played, you look like a clown, bro. You follow behind these white folks, these Freemasons, and these other secret societies. Follow behind these white. I gotta stop and show you my worth, guys. I gotta do that because, see, I've always been here. You feel me? But then these Freemasons ain't talking about a living wage. These Illuminati members ain't talking about no living wage. What they gonna talk about? Oh, some secret information. You can't be serious, bro. Listen. You know what my secret information is? A living wage. That's my secret information. Sound like a kid. We have secret information. We got some secret information. See, if you really cared about the people, they wouldn't have to join Freemasonry for you to take care of the people. If you really cared about the people, they wouldn't have to join Illuminati for. They wouldn't have to join that to be. This is how I figured out who loved the people. They wouldn't have to join your group if you cared about humanity. See, the preacher, the prophet, I don't care if you join me or not. You better join God. That's what you better do. You better join God. Tell you that. You don't gotta join me. You better join God, though. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. Ain't none of them Freemasons talking about no living wage. I could even take you back to Tupac. Tupac was talking about the poor people being rich and the rich people being poor. They switching houses and see what it is to live poor and rich. Nah. A living wage. A living wage. That's how we get it all worked out. And see, even Donald Trump know this. Donald Trump, he always talking about somebody getting screwed. Well, you know how bad black people been screwed. Listen, he can point out all the times America got screwed. Well, then I'm sure you realize how bad black people got screwed with not enough money to stand on their own 2 feet, but they was working. They was working over all these years, but they ain't have enough money to stand on their own. They got to live with their mama. We all had to do it. Because if it was enough money, you should be able to put a security deposit in first month's rent right then. That's $7. Right? Okay, so if I'm working at a job where I can pay for my rent, right, in the first pay period, which means I probably still got a little bit left. By the second pay period, I should be able to get security, and I should be able to put a security deposit and the first month's rent down on the new apartment, right? Within the second pay period, not 5,000 pay periods, 2 pay periods, right? I already got the month rent because I'm making a living wage with the first pay period. I might have to wait the second for the security deposit, right? Which is the same amount of money, if I'm not mistaken. About that, right? So, yeah, I think so, yeah. The bottom line is by the second pay period, I should be able to pay security on the security deposit and rent for a new place. I should be able to basically get out of my mom's house by my second pay period. By the second, black people can't even fathom this. Second pay period, I'm out of my mom's house? Yes, that's how it should be. You shouldn't have to save 1,000 checks to get out your mom's house, and that's what black people gonna do. They're gonna tell you to save your money. Did it ever happen? It didn't happen, did it? It didn't happen. That's the power of not having a living wage. You had good intentions, but you even worked, but what happened? You didn't have enough money from day one. You didn't have enough money. That's why you didn't plan. That's why you didn't think you could do it. That's why you didn't do it. A living wage is the biggest money conversation. Ain't no bigger conversation than a living wage. Because it forces all these slave owners in modern day slavery that you didn't see in our community, where people work at these big corporations, any big corporation, they not paying you a living wage. Okay? It's not hard to do it. It's not hard to do it. Okay, we're the richest country in the world. They boast of being the biggest economy, but you got people that's not working and making a living wage. Because that's the game. I gotta have slaves so that I can get my money. Because if I pay all these people at Walmart, let's look at Walmart. Walmart's a perfect example. I used to work at Walmart, me myself. That's how you know I'm American. That's American as it get. I used to work at Walmart, right? Okay, in 2014. Okay, so I used to work at Walmart in 2014, not 1999. Okay, so I worked at Walmart in 2014, right? Walmart does not pay employers a living wage. And Walmart could pay employers a living wage. They could pay them, but they not paying them. Okay? So you can work at Walmart, but you're not going to get in 2 pay periods, or even in the first month, you're not going to be able to pay rent in your city outside the hood. I would even say in the hood, you ain't going to be able to pay rent. Okay? So you're working at Walmart, you're just working. Most likely all those employers that work at Walmart, I guarantee you, most of them are living with their mom or their dad, or their sister or brother, something like that, or a friend or a roommate. You know, the people that's working, not the managers, the co-workers, the people on the floor, the people at the cash registers, the people that work the floors, right, of Walmart, the people that stock up the food at Walmart, the people that put the clothes and the merchandise out on the floors for Walmart. They not making no living wage where they can take their money in 2 pay periods and get and have enough money for rent and a certain apartment. That's not enough money. I already worked it. I already know. It's not enough money in most major cities, with the cost of living in most major cities, for you to take 2 pay periods and get a month's rent out of 2 pay periods. Nope. You can't even do it. You can't even get it. You can't even get what you need in for out of Walmart for a decent place to stay on far as the monthly rent. You can't even get that amount of money in a month. No, you can't even get it, which means you can't stay there because you can't get the money for every month. You ain't gonna have enough working this job to get the amount of money you need for every month. You ain't gonna get it. All you can do is probably try to get in the hood. You probably can try to stay somewhere in the hood, right? Probably. That's a big probably too. With all the cost of living going up and everything, that's a big probably. Walmart, most of the people that work at Walmart on the floor is not living on their own. They're not. I listen, in the 21st century, man, have you ever met somebody, and I have, that's homeless, is working from the streets? They actually go to a job and they're homeless, and you sit down and talk to them. I done did that. As a matter of fact, when I was working at Walmart, I'm sitting at the bus stop. This dude came through. We started having this conversation. He told me how he was working at Little Caesars, but he living on the streets. This dude is homeless. That ain't a slave position. With the corporation of Little Caesars. And if he had bread, he would be off the streets. Even at a motel. He could at least be at a motel. This dude wasn't at a motel. So it's no excuse. Okay, you can make excuses. Well, maybe he ain't got a ID or whatever. So why he can't get a apartment? That's why, right? Okay, well, explain why he can't get a motel. He can get somebody else to pay for it. Come on, we black, man. Come on. He can get somebody else the bread and pay for it. Why can't he do that? Huh? This dude was working at Little Caesars. You know how big the corporation of Little Caesars is? Which means they can pay people a living wage and they're not doing it. They've been killing the game. All these businesses have been killing the game because they won't pay people a living wage. I'm talking about the biggest businesses. I'm talking about the biggest ones, like McDonald's by now. McDonald's been eating so good as a corporation, they should just fall off and start, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, they should just fall off and start paying people a living wage. I mean, you done had your money, you done had your heyday. You done had a heyday already. You done had fun, taking trips everywhere. I'm talking about the leadership, you know what I'm saying? You done had fun, you done been everywhere. Come on, fall off a little bit and take care of the community. That's your next step. That's your next stage. The next stage for McDonald's should be falling off a little bit and taking care of the community. That's 7 hour. Yeah, Walmart should be start a new trend, a new culture. Okay, we're gonna fall off a little bit and take care of the community. I mean, the community done took care of us, right? All these years. Okay, we're gonna fall off a little bit. And we're going to start offering a living wage to everybody. You can't beat it. Now that's going to start a whole new phenomenon in as far as ground level fast food type of jobs. Okay, we offer what these Burger King can't offer. Wendy's can't offer this. We done made our money. We done had fun in the sun. Okay, now we're willing to give back. This is our way of giving back to the community. Now we're going to offer in every city. We're going to know what it is in every city. We're going to have a unique system of giving people enough money to make it in their specific city that they're living in. Not a certain rate everywhere. No, we're going to go down into each city and we're going to find a living wage according to that city. Because that's how you figure it out. See, the catch is with a living wage, you got to consider the cost of living. That's obvious. Okay, so the cost of living, the living wage has to be enough for, obviously, the cost that you pay for rent. It has to be that much. We figure out the cost of living by looking at the average rent in our cities. Okay? That should be the average pay that people get. It's simple. It's simple. The reason why you're not getting it is not because they can't do it. They're greedy. Okay, think about it. It's a person sitting back with a whole bunch of money to deal with. He got all this money on the table. But I could take care of everybody. But man, this also could be a trip. This also could be another built house. Now, and add to all the celebrity part to it, where people, they looking at all these celebrities. And these CEOs and stuff, they looking at all these celebrities and everything. You know, you get tempted to think, well, I could do this with this money. I can live like Michael Jackson. I could live like Prince and Michael Jackson used to live. I could live like Michael J. Fox. I could live like Michael J. Fox, man. I can live like Michael J. Fox. I can live like Tom Cruise. If you looking at them, they listen. Them CEOs gonna look at this lavish lifestyle they could be living. They gonna look at that money, and when they could pay you, they not gonna pay you because they want to live like these other Americans. They want to live like these rich Americans. That's what it is. They greedy. If you can say, besides just saying mere greedy, they want to live a lifestyle like these other people. They want to live at the best height of what America offers. And it doesn't matter if you don't live that way. It don't matter if you don't live at all. I didn't put a gun to your head to make you get the job. That's what they are. That's their perspective. Hey, you knew what you was making. You knew how much it could do. You knew how much that money could do. You knew how much that money could do. I ain't put no gun to your head. This ain't slavery. You knew what the cost of living was in your city. See, this is what a CEO gonna say. You knew what the cost of living was in your city. You knew this wasn't, you signed up for this, literally. You signed up for it. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to do it. See, with black people, we gotta stop telling our family it's good that you working. It's not good that you working. We all should be fighting for a living wage. Okay? Cost of living. Cost of living could come down if landlords and property owners were paid more money by the government. This is how you bring down cost of living. The government pays for landlords and rent owners to, these people to get their money. They give them money. They start a installment that gives property owners, landlords, a certain extra check to bring it down. We gonna pay you to bring it down. We gonna have a corporation that pays to bring it all down. Yeah, I mean, you should pay these people. It shouldn't be us. You know what happens? We have to pay the people the worth of this property. That ain't how it should work. The government should be paying for it. That's 7 out. The government should be paying for the value of this property, not us. We should be paying a reasonable amount to live in a place within a reasonable amount. The government should be paying all these extra little additives and things like that. What they tax us on. You should, listen, landlords and property owners should get what the government say. This is why I tax on this. This is why I tax on that. This is why I do this, right? Okay. The government gonna say, well, okay, we'll pay for that part. All of this, we're gonna bring down all the fine print. And this is why you charge this, right? Okay. We're gonna pay for that. We're going to pay for the value of this property. We're going to give you a certain lump sum. So you're going to get that money. Give us a number where you could get this money, right, without taxing these people. What would be the numbers where you can get this money, right, and these people don't get taxed? Give us a number, and that's what kind of check we're going to cut you. How much money you get. How much money you get, right? Give us a number where you're still going to get a reasonable amount of money without taxing these people, but you still get what you want. We're gonna do the difference. We're gonna pay the difference, right? And see, that's what America should have been doing. America is like the short bus when it comes to these conversations, and the reason why they're the short bus because they don't want to pay. They greedy. That's all it is. It ain't that they stupid. They're greedy. That's all it is. They want to live a lifestyle that the rich and famous is living. And that's what they're doing. They're taking all the trips. They got all the bags, the Gucci's, Louis. Hey, You think these people that work Walmart CEO, they mama them now. Mama them and they aunties and their little kids don't got no Gucci bags. They're getting all of that stuff, man. They're getting all of it. See, that's a whole world you don't know nothing about. These CEOs in corporate Walmart just buying lavish gifts for their family every year. You don't even know. You ain't even in no Walmart family. Let's talk about Walmart families. Well, these people in corporate Walmart just buying lavish gifts like Santa Claus and Miss Santa every year for their family. The whole family know this person works at Walmart. Auntie works at Walmart, in corporate Walmart. And then at the same time, in the same family, she could have people that work at Walmart in her family. But guess what's going to happen? I'm going to get on the phone with Auntie to give me a better job, position at Walmart. Hey, my Auntie work at corporate. Yeah. I'm finna get a supervisor. I'm gonna get a supervisor position, not a manager. I'm gonna be a supervisor. I'm finna get me a district supervisor position. I'm finna be a district manager. That's what I'm finna be. My auntie work at corporate Walmart. I'm finna get me a district manager position. District manager. Start learning about these different positions. District managers and all this over a whole store. You got district managers and everything. They getting money, bro. Like we just now finding out about district managers and all that kind of stuff as black people, man. All we know is the manager. Then you got district managers and everything. You got corporate, all kind of jobs at corporate. They making good money, real good money. Don't let it be a big corporation. They making plenty of money, man. You need to learn the cost of living and the living wage and minimum wage in those three right there. You got to be working with those three. That's all we should be working for, because racism is insinuated and implied through money. That's what it is. Okay, I can keep you over here. You and your bad kids ain't gonna come to my neighborhood because you ain't gonna have enough money. And you can be mandingo. You can work all you want. It's sad. You can work all you want. You ain't getting to my neighborhood. So a man isn't valued as he should be valued. His performance isn't valued because that's our strong suit. Our strong suit is, as black people and people of color too, even. Yeah, because considering the Hispanic and Latino work ethic, we can work circles around any situation, but we're not paid our worth, and that's the racism. Because they know you can work hard. They know that. Okay, so why wouldn't I in America, knowing these people can work hard, why wouldn't I make a workforce that complements that hard work? Being a workhorse, right? Most of us can be a workhorse. Well, then if I know that's what it is, I'm gonna give you all kind of opportunities. That long as you use your body, long as you work hard, not your mind. Not your mind. You ain't gotta go to school. Physical performance, working physical performance. I'm gonna make you can almost become rich. This is how it should be in America. You can almost become rich if you work hard. Now, if you go out here and you know you ain't taking care of yourself, we gonna have all kind of paperwork for if you fall out here now. I'm gonna tell you as a manager, you fall out now. Listen, you think about that bread. Hey, you gotta take care of yourself. So we gonna have all kind of paperwork where I'm gonna eat a certain amount of food before I come at this job. I'm gonna drink X amount of water on the job. You gonna sign paperwork on all of this. You gonna eat good. You gonna work good. You gonna drink water. You gonna, and you gonna take care of yourself. Okay? You gonna go. When I go home, that's right. I'm gonna get sleep. I'm not gonna do other activities. And so you signed off all that paperwork. So if you die, listen, hey, we listen. He signed paperwork saying he was gonna eat. This is how you do it. This is how legal people do it. See, that's what you would have to do, because people go home, they shuck and jive, they got money, they got bread, they party, they sit up and drink a fifth of vodka. See, that's us. That's us as black people. We go home and party. After that, we go home, we got money. I gotta enjoy my life. That's what you're gonna think. Okay, I work hard, but I'm gonna enjoy my life. I'm gonna give me a fifth. I'm gonna turn up with my female. We're gonna drink, we're gonna eat, we're gonna cook, we're gonna everything, but you ain't getting no rest. So I'm gonna sign off on it. Okay? That if you work these hours now, you gotta get your proper sleep. You gotta go home and not party, just party. You gotta go home and get rest. You gotta get proper food, and preferably vitamins. You know, you gotta drink plenty of water and water on the job, and even eating a little meal on the job. Eating a little meal. We'll have some food here for you. We'll have food. We'll have a whole cafeteria where you ain't even gotta pay for it. See, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how you take care of your people. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gotta pay for none of that food. They gonna eat good. You think the men ain't gonna eat? Okay, we want you to eat. We want you to eat all that. That's free. Go ahead. Yeah. Long as you don't get lazy and don't want to eat. Okay, well, listen. We want you to eat. Go. They got burgers. Go ahead. Get you 2. How many you want? That's unbelievable. Yeah, you go ahead. You can eat 3 burgers. You can't be on the toilet all day. You can't be on the toilet all night, but you can. But you can eat your 3 burgers if you can get that down, buddy. Listen, you can't be on the toilet all night. And you can't get itis either. Black people know what that is. You can't get itis, and you can't come and get on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? And you eat your 3 burgers, and if that make you go, you like Hulk around here, cause I eat 3 burgers, I be throwing that stuff around. If I'm on a job site and I done ate 3 burgers, man, I'm gonna be like a beast. I'm like Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, throwing stuff around. I ate 3 burgers. My next lunch break, I eat another burger. I might eat 3 when I first start off, then I eat me another burger at lunchtime. Then I'm gonna eat me one when I go home. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. You need to, you gotta go home and put in work with your woman. What? Yeah, you heard what I said. Come on. Get you another burger. Take it to go. Oh, matter of fact, get you and your wife a burger. Get her something to eat too. Go ahead. Now, when you go to the kids, I can't go that far. I can't give you 10,000. You know how we are as black people. I can't give you 10,000 burgers for your family. But at least for you and your wife, okay, you know what I'm saying? I can do that. Or, well, hey, however you want to shuffle it up. You want a couple burgers for your wife, for you and your kid. But you gotta have energy, bro. You can't do it all. You can't do it all, bro. I'm paying you enough. Take care of your kids. Take care of your wife. Take a couple burgers home. 8 burgers here all night. Take a couple burgers home for you and your wife. That's how you wind down. Get you some more energy. You know what I'm saying? Have your little bit of wine, glass of wine. Boom, you in the zone. You know what I'm saying? With you and your wife, now you're home. Okay? That's what that's for. And if you take care of your employees like that, bro. Listen, it all starts out with talking like this. See, this is the difference between people who are bosses in the world and people who think it's not possible. They think I'm just talking. But this is how it all starts. Everything you see out there started with talking like this. You thought it was just impossible. See, that's how they make us feel like it's impossible. We, as black people, we should have been district managers. Now we just getting around to being managers, but we should have been district managers. Now back to Walmart, they'll pay the managers a living wage. Boom. That's $7 hours. Oh, yeah. They'll pay the manager because he got to take care of all them people. They'll pay a woman manager, they'll pay the woman or a man because they got to take care of all them people. So at minimum, starting with managers that's on the floor, they'll take care of them, and they'll be at least in some little rinky-dink apartment somewhere, getting drunk on the weekend. The manager will be somewhere in an apartment getting drunk on the weekend. They'll at least get them off the streets. I can't have my manager on the street. Come on, that's a little pitiful. That's too pitiful for anybody's stomach. Even a greedy person, they can't stomach that. You go and run and manage this whole shift, and I got you on the streets and you manage all these people? Nah, they ain't gonna have you like that. So even America can't do that. But so they'll take care of these managers. They'll pay attention to the managers. You think the manager's on the streets? No. He might be living in a rinky-dink apartment, getting drunk on the weekends, but he got somewhere to live. His money is enough for him to pay. His money is a living wage. So most corporations start a living wage where they know they got to, which is a manager. I can't have a manager out here with no living wage. Feel me? See, they done thought about this. That's what I'm trying to show you. You could say they got it down to a science. They've already thought about this. We got to take care of our managers. They out there helping every day. They making sure this whole thing runs. Pretty much. It's the managers that make sure Everything runs in Walmart. We gotta take care of them. They make it go. They make it do what it do, right? Right. They make it do what it do. Okay, so we got it based on that, we gotta take care of them. See, they start acknowledging hard work and manager position in America. Ooh. That's all they acknowledge. The rest of us that just work and we're not managers, they don't acknowledge our work, bro. I mean, I don't know how to say how they look at us. We have to be some stand up, stand out type of worker to get some kind of acknowledgement from these managers or corporate. But the average everyday person is not getting that extra acknowledgement, man. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I guess they feel like you supposed to be doing it. You supposed to be doing it, huh? You supposed to be doing it. But they acknowledge a manager. So with these big corporations in America, the acknowledgement of hard work doesn't start with you and I. The acknowledgement of hard work starts with the manager. They're not humble enough or understanding enough, better to say, safe to say, to acknowledge our hard work, catching buses to get to the job and all. They'll acknowledge one person like that sticks out, that catches the bus, rain, sun, or shine. This one guy, right? Everybody has seen stories like that. This one guy, he's rain, sun, or shine, he's there, right? But so are you. I mean, you might call out every once in a while when you turn up and you get too tipsy. You might call out, yeah, I'm too tipsy, man. You with the homies, you with the family. Now you with the family. Yeah, you done got tipsy. You done drunk too much. You got to work at Walmart, you ain't feeling it. Yo, I'm going to call in. I'm calling in, man. I can't go there tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? They going to mess up my vibe. I done had a good night. See, that's how we are as black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same way. Shoot. Like, some days, man, listen, I might call in. You know what I'm saying? But that's being human. That's being human. I ain't going to penalize you for being human. I know ain't no way in the world, if you're a normal person, that you totally dedicated to just this job. You know what I'm saying? And I know you ain't going to do everything perfect. Some days, you're going to get tipsy. You're going to get too tipsy to want to come in here. You drink a whole fifth, you coming in? Not if you ain't a workhorse, not if you ain't a manager, and you ain't getting no good money. Now, if I'm getting money, I'm going to come in there tipsy. Yeah, what's up? But if I'm working on ground level, man. I'm not getting tipsy. And then think about all the other vices people have. I'm not getting blunted and coming to Walmart after 4 blunts. No, you with the family. Let's just say your cousin's birthday. Some birthday they didn't know to acknowledge. It's your cousin's birthday. Y'all smoke like 5 blunts. You like, yo. You got to go in like an hour, 2 hours. You're like, how did we get here, man? Like, man, I should have knew better. Like, I got to call in. I'm not tapping out. It's just, I don't want to be in there tonight. I'm calling in, man. Your cousin going to talk you into it. Yeah, man, you work hard, bruh. Hey, this the cousin that ain't got no job. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, you work hard, bruh. Like he would know. Yeah, man, you work hard. Shoot, you gotta treat yourself sometimes. You work hard. He gonna talk to you, yeah, you right, man. You know what I'm saying? I get that job, man. I'm serious. You right, because I get that job, I go beyond, above and beyond. I go above and beyond, man. All the time. I can't have a little break, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't have a little time for myself sometimes, you know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna miss me today. If I don't come in there, it ain't gonna fall apart. That's the bottom line. That perspective should be kept into consideration. It ain't gonna fall apart, so why penalize me? I'm a good worker. Why penalize me today? Come on, let's be human. Let's be cool. It's an art to being cool. Some people don't know how to be cool. I work hard, I come in, I'll be there tomorrow. No problem. I'll be there tomorrow. I mean, why it's gonna hurt you that bad for me not to come in? Come on. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna hurt you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, look. Everybody don't know how to be cool. You know what cool is? I'm gonna tell you what cool is from a black man's perspective. What being cool is It's knowing what to be at the proper time. That's what determines if you're cool or not. For me, as a black man from North Carolina, to be cool means knowing what to be at the proper time. At all given times. You know what I'm saying? You can do the right thing at the wrong time. And you're not cool for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you gotta know what to be at the proper time. At any given time, and as things change. You know, that's why all these people that y'all was listening to about me, they can't be cool now because of the time that we in now where I'm talking like this. So imagine them playing their position, that same position. They not cool anymore, right? They not cool because you didn't adjust to the situation and you see what it is now, and so you out of pocket. Now it's you out of pocket. They thought it was me, but it's you. And it's like, you know, you're not cool for what the situation presents itself to be. Same thing with a woman. You know what I'm saying? You want to be cool with the women, you got to learn a woman to know what to be at the proper time. You know what I'm saying? It goes to relationships, it goes to friends, homies, everything. If you come into a house, this is an analogy I always give. If you come into a house and let's say everybody watching a movie. You ever walked in on a movie? Okay, everybody's into this movie. They glued to the tube, right? And so you just come in, you late. You know how us as black people, we might be late. We late. Let's say it's the holidays. You done brought a fifth over there. You know what I mean? You already blunted a little bit. You come in all loud. Hey, what's up, everybody? Everybody like, shh, yo, we watching this movie. Like, oh man, come on, it's the holidays. Nah, man, and you gonna be corny talking about the holidays. Now you done fell out with the argumentative cousin. You gonna talk about the holidays, or you gonna be, man, come on, man, come on. See, you don't know how to be cool. To be cool is, okay, everybody's watching the movie. So I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna know what to be, which is I'm gonna be quiet. And I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna pour me a drink, and I'm gonna sit down and take a couple shots and chill. And now everybody gonna look around. What's up, boy? Hey, what's up? Now you cool. Now everybody wanna talk to you. What's up, man? What you doing? Drinking some shots. You want one? Yeah, pour me up, man. Now you done got into the vibe of where everybody at. As opposed to coming in, hey, what's going on? Yeah. They might tolerate it in the beginning and start laughing. But if you keep talking, because you high, whatever, oh, well, you know, sometimes everybody get high and you go a little too far. All right, I'm going to let y'all watch that movie. All right. That's a ghetto family. Okay, I'll shut up. All right, we watching the movie. But see, being cool is to come in and observe what's going on, right? And fall into position. You know what I'm saying? You start taking shots or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? You chilling. You're in the vibe. That's cool. That's what's learning. That's a perfect example of what a cool is. It's learning what to be in these situations. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's being cool. But see, it applies to everything. It applies to everything. You got to learn how to be cool. It ain't cool how the government is doing everybody. It ain't cool how these corporations is doing people. You know what I'm saying? You work all your life. You know, you can't get a living wage. I've seen people who dedicate their life to McDonald's. You ever seen that? Dude is like 70 years old. He retires from McDonald's. And all he gets is a salute because of all the days he gave to this job. All he gets is a rinky-dink salute. This is a grown man that dedicated himself to this job. He should have came up a long time ago for his dedication. His dedication should have put him in another position. Just based off the dedication. That should have put him in another position. But see, once again, some people don't want that responsibility. He may have never wanted the responsibility that came with being a district manager or going to corporate. He probably never wanted that responsibility. Some people don't want it. Some people like it. They like things that tick and they like to make things tick. Some people, you got different psychologies. They don't like to make things tick. They like to come in and play a workhorse position. And they get super respect for that. Because that's what makes it go anyway. You could have the perfect devised plan, but if you don't got no workhorses, it's not going to go. You ain't got no manpower, it's not going to go. Unless you're going to get down there and cook all the food yourself. You gotta have a staff. You gotta have people in place, man. You know what I'm saying? People have to be paid. To be cool is to pay people what they deserve. You know what I'm saying? Pay people a living wage. And that's the biggest money conversation that nobody's having. Just be honest. You never thought about it. You never put the pressure on your politicians in America to think about a living wage for the community. Not just work, not job positions. A living wage, right? Where you can pay for your rent in 2 pay periods. Not 4 and 5, not 3 and 4. Not the second half, the first half. Within the first half of the month, you should be able to pay for rent, food, and some entertainment. You ain't gonna probably buy clothes every month. Most people ain't gonna buy clothes. The average person ain't gonna buy clothes every month. But you gotta obviously buy food and a little something. You might buy some entertainment, whatever, every month or whatever. You might start stacking a little bit of that other money. You might just pay for rent, food, and stack some money. You got that option. You should have that option, but you don't, because you're not making a living wage. It should be no such thing as paycheck to paycheck in the biggest economy in the world. The biggest boast should be that all our people is making a living wage, which means if they are willing to work, they can get off the streets. That's not the case in America. You can work and not get off the streets. I just told you, I met somebody that worked at Little Caesars and he was homeless, but he worked at Little Caesars. That should never be the situation where you're willing to work but you're homeless. The opportunity should be so life-changing and life-changing that if you work, you're going to get off the streets. That's the bottom line. Here in America, that's not the case. That's not promised to you. You can work and not get off the streets. And that's what you need to think about. You can work and not get your own place to live. You can work and not get your own place where you pay rent and everything. You still gotta live with your mom and them. You still gotta live with your dad. That's slavery. That's slavery right there. And it's that simple. And so what has to happen is the government, the mayors, the governors, the politicians all have to come and voucher politically for a living wage for all humanity. And the reason why many people haven't let it happen, like I said, is because the corporate and the main people that run these corporations, they get the lion's share. Now you will hear me talk about corporate and the people that own the people that's in these positions in the corporate America or corporate for these businesses. You will hear this and think you've heard it before. What you didn't hear, the difference is you did not hear a living wage. That's why I don't want you to hear like you think you know what I'm talking about and you've been heard it. You did not hear it. You've heard the term, but you didn't hear the emphasis. You've heard the term, but you didn't get the emphasis. You didn't get an epiphany. A light bulb didn't go off, obviously. What black people and what non-white people should have been vouching for is a living wage in America. Nothing else. Even racism, you can't stop everybody from being racist. You should have had all hands on deck for a living wage where I can get me a gun for a racist person. That's what you need anyway. I'm dead serious. I'm not playing. You need a living wage so you can get you a gun. Okay? That's what you need. Because no matter how much they fix these laws about racism, all it takes is a crazy person that's racist to take your life. And then all the laws that they pass did not apply to you. Okay? See that part right there? They can pass all the laws they want, but it didn't apply to you, did it? You know how many black people got killed and they make all these racist laws or discriminative laws for discrimination against races, certain ethnicities. They make all these laws and then you still get smoked out here. You know what I mean? By somebody that's racist. Okay? So, like I said before, individually, things will never change for you. Where you can just let your guard down and not, here in America, and just not think nothing gonna happen to you. You can never be totally relaxed.
You got to deal with something that white America don't have to deal with, which is at any given time, for any given reason, even being here in New York. You don't think it's rednecks here in New York? You simple-minded. You got people from all down in the South up here, and they're not culturally sound. They're not a part of Adidas USA, Fila USA. They're not a part of that. They're on their own agenda. They gotta have racist people everywhere. They're gonna have people that might not like how all the people come together, but they got to have some people that sacrifice their environment so that they have racist white people in New York City. They got their people. They got their troops up here, buddy. Be assured of that. In LA, everywhere, they gonna have white people that are racist that sacrifice the geographics of their situation to make sure that the further cause of white supremacy is still embarked on in those places and as a collective community, and that they're successful with it. They have to make sure they have their people in place. They got them here in New York. You don't think it's racist people here in New York? I'm talking about with agendas. They got to have them here. There's too much going on here for them not to have them here. Therefore, you can't let your guard down for nobody. You can't let your guard down in no city, because they can, even if they don't come down here, they can send people down here. That's how you got to look at it. That's why you need guns. That's why you don't listen. It's nothing wrong with being dangerous. I don't mind being dangerous. See, that's part of the psychology, from the past that you got to update yourself on. That even part of America have let you go on. See, back in the past, a black man couldn't be dangerous. You had to be docile. You know what I'm saying? Like a deer, like Bambi. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to be that way to survive and live. You ain't got to be like Bambi. You ain't got to be like Bambi to survive. Okay, so a policeman is dangerous. A military person is dangerous. ICE is dangerous, as we can see. But you can't be dangerous. You see that what I'm talking about? Because see, some of them know how physically endowed you are. If you were dangerous, you would be a problem. And all they've done to you in your community, if you were dangerous, that would be another problem. Because now I'm dealing with dangerous people that understand what happened. So this is the reason why they condition you to not be dangerous. It's not a crime to be dangerous. It's not a crime to walk around like I killed me somebody. You know what I'm saying? No. It's not. That's not a crime to walk around like I kill me one of these people. Ain't what they gonna do about it? What they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You gotta brainwash yourself and not be brainwashed. Ain't nothing wrong with you walking around like you would kill somebody. Yeah, that's right. The people need to know that these days. They need to feel that. Because they play Mickey Mouse games and think life is a game. They need to feel that you would kill them. And that's the only way America responds. You know why I'm getting my respect? Because I'm a threat. That's why. That's how it is. That's how it is in this country. If you ain't, you like me, I'm a Christian. I would like to be peaceful. I would like to be, I would like to walk around in tranquility, in a tranquil state. You can't walk around like that. You can't walk around. You have to pose a threat. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's the only way. That's the only reason you get your respect. That's the only reason I'm getting my respect. And everybody that don't pose a threat, you get treated like a slave. You get treated like Bambi. You're docile. You get treated like an animal. Think about it. These white folks start looking at you. Don't think he had all these farm animals and start looking at you like you parallel to an animal? He started looking at you like you parallel to animals, like livestock. You're docile. You're there for, even though this animal is cute, even a pig is kind of cute sometimes. Especially little pigs, little piglets. You know what I'm saying? They can even be cute. But ultimately, we're going to still kill these little piglets. We're going to raise them. And you think about it, he might even have a little bond with them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the Americans is going to slaughter these pigs, right? He going to hang them up and slaughter them, make pork chops out of them, and get chitlins these days. He going to get chitlins. Think about it. If you got a pig farm, I'm getting chitlins too. Yeah. People love this stuff. It became a delicacy, but it started in the slave times when the pigs was left over, the intestines was left over, and we improvised and it became a delicacy. Now you got white people that eat pig chitlins. or they grew up on it, but it came back from slave times when we ain't have nothing. That's why we eat pig feet. The white man left all that behind. He left the pig feet, the pig ears. Think about everything we eat. We even eat pig ears in the South. Y'all might eat pig feet up here, but we eat pig ears, pig feet, and chitlins, which is the intestines. That's why I be doo-doo and feces. All it's the intestines. I remember as a kid, I used to clean chitlins. I used to clean them as a kid. I was raised from the baby boomers generation. They teach us how to clean I learned to clean chitlins and everything with a steak knife, the ripple blade with the ripple blade on it. I used to clean chitlins with a steak knife. What you cut your steak up with, I used to clean chitlins with a steak knife. I grew up with that. You grew up smelling it and everything. You got used to it. You became Southern. You know, you became black. Pig feet, pig ears, chitlins, all the stuff the white man left over. That's what we began to eat. And now these days, I imagine if you got a pig farm, why wouldn't you sell chitlins? It's not racist. I'm just saying, if you know everybody eating them, I'm gonna sell the whole pig because everybody eating the whole pig. I'm gonna sell everything: pig ears, chitlins, pig feet, pork chops. Everything else, the hide, all that stuff, you know what I'm talking about. In some cases, the whole pig for people that want to do it like that. They pay the right price. That's how it probably will go, obviously. Pay the right price, you get the whole pig. Got people doing it like that. So, they can see these animals and they can feed the animals and then still kill them. They can even the bulls. The cows. They gotta kill cows. You know what I'm saying? They see all these cute animals and stuff. You look at them, look at their face. You see the little nice little animals. They nice. You watch them grow up, and you know you're gonna kill these animals. You don't think You don't think these racist white people who was the first one over all these farms. You don't think he got an epiphany of this is how black people are? I'm gonna raise them up and everything. And I'm gonna get everything. I don't care how they live. I'm gonna get everything from how they slaughter you is they don't care. They leave you in poverty. They work you. They utilize you. They fleece you to fleece a sheep. They fleece you of your wool. But how you get slaughtered is poverty. Poverty is how you kill a man. You know what an African told me in Seattle when I used to live in Seattle. An African man told me this. Me and him was walking around drinking together in Seattle. See, I'm that type of dude. I done had friends that's Haitian. I done had a Haitian friend, Jamaican friends, Ethiopian. I don't just deal with just one tribe from Africa, And people that do, they become they the ones that be over there thinking that we see you like. You gonna get seen by us like white people see you. Like you can play that black card like you the blackest thing we ever seen. You can only play that with these Americans that's raised a certain way. You can't play that with me because I done been around Haitian, Jamaican, Ethiopians. You know what I'm saying? You can't play. You're just one tribe of African. That's all you are. That's all you will ever be. And it don't matter how much money you make here in America. It don't matter how much African Americans make here. It don't matter how much your rappers, the singers. I don't care about that. You have to understand you're only one tribe, and you play by the same rules that we play by. So when you start acting like a white man, when you can torture us and play with us and oppress us, we're gonna treat you just like these crackers. I'm gonna treat you just like them. And white people that are not all crackers. A cracker is, in my definition, a white person that oppresses a black person. You a cracker. If you're a white person that plays around a black person, you are a cracker. If you have no charges on a person, but you feel the need to be a superhero, Hulk Hogan or some A-Team, G.I. Joe type of character, but you don't have nothing on these people, you are a cracker. And if you are black and you work with people like that, you are a cracker too. That's what a cracker is. We always talk about what a nigga is. A nigga is an ignorant person, right? In the context of how we see it as black people. We'll call somebody a nigga when they're ignorant. Your grandma call you a nigga if you ignorant. Your mama call you a nigga, call people niggas when they ignorant, right? If you come from the school I come from, you come from the old school, black old school people call people niggas when they act ignorant and trifling. That's a nigga, right? To them, to black people, right? So, but no one examines what a cracker is. A cracker ain't every white people, because white people was helping, even during the slavery time, they was helping some of the runaway slaves. This is something that a lot of pro-black people forget. White people was helping even during slavery. They used to put the blankets up to the windows so that the slaves know what house to come to. So there was always white people that disagreed with discrimination and all of that. Once humanity understood what was going on, there was, in the beginning, they don't really know what's going on, really. You know what I'm saying? You got to settle into it. Okay. And when white people settled into it, there was always some of them that stood with black people. That's how you need to understand it. That helped probably some of your ancestors to escape from slavery. You didn't know that. You got to acknowledge that. You got to acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? You got to acknowledge that part. That's the balance. You got crackers, and then you got people that, white people that put up blankets to their windows so the slaves know what house to come to. They would look at the windows. And that's how that was their codes. You know what I'm saying? See, this is what I learned in the South, And so there was always white people that helped black people. And even to this day, it's like that. So don't misunderstand me because I'm talking about crackers. Crackers is the ones that's out here running around and ain't got no charges. That's a cracker. And I don't care what you talk. I don't care what it's about. I don't care if it's about raping 1 million children. If you ain't got no charges, you a cracker. That's the world we live in. And if you black, you a cracker too. If you out here playing with a black man and he ain't got no charges, you a cracker. And I don't care what you talking about. I don't care if it's about children. I told you to your face I don't care. I don't care if it's about children. You are a cracker if you playing with somebody and they ain't got no charges. Simple as that. So we playing with crackers. That's basically it. But the balance in America is like you almost have racial schizophrenia, because you can vouch for white people, but you can't vouch for all of them. You can vouch for white people that helped us all along the way, but you can't vouch for all these white people. You can vouch for black people, but you can't vouch for all black people because of how many niggas is out here. So it's like having racial schizophrenia where I'm here right here, but I'm right here. This dope, but I this. And if you listen to most intelligent people, that's how they talk. Okay, I can talk about this good stuff about black people, but what about this part? That's what makes you look schizo. Because I'm over here talking about this, but then what about this? White people over here, they cool right here, but what about that? So you'll find the most savvy people who are savvy in the culture of America, the people that's really savvy, right? You're going to find that it's almost like they got racial schizophrenia, because if you sound like you cool and collected with black people, I guarantee you something wrong with your worldviews. If you act like you're cool and collected with white people, something's wrong with your worldviews. There's no way you can hold those positions. You're going to go back and forth. That's what you're going to do, which is going to make you look bipolar. But you ain't. It's just a crazy situation. And so, I mean, the novice will think you look crazy addressing a crazy situation. That's just how it is. You're going to look crazy to some people in addressing a crazy situation. That's why you got to know yourself. That's why you got to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I come out here as a grown man knowing fully who I am. From city to city, I already know who I am coming into a city. You know what I mean? And I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm proud of who I am. Because I weathered all the stuff that you threw at me as black people that was acting like crackers. That's all it was. You can justify. You ain't gonna Jedi mind trick me. I've been around a Haitian. I had a Haitian friend, a Jamaican friend. I've had Ethiopian friends. You can't play me like these white people and act like it's a black cause, or you black and you thorough. You're crackers. You work as crackers. Cause for us as black people, if I don't got no charges on you, I don't care personally enough for whatever it was. I don't care personally enough. With this whole world the way it is, especially more now than ever, I could care less of if there's no charges on the table and you're not a threat out here to the everyday community physically out here, and you're not doing anything out here. I don't care enough. I don't care enough to go past those things. Okay, and those who do are crackers. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. For a lack of a better word, you know, ain't nothing else to. It's definitely for a lack of a better word. Cause just saying you're a bad person ain't good enough. It's not. So for a lack of a better word, you are crackers. And we don't have no love for no black crackers either. If you act like a black cracker, I'm gonna treat you like a cracker. That's just how it is. Cause ain't nobody black I know that care enough to play with somebody and ain't no charges on the table. You know what I'm saying? We don't care enough about that. Only a cracker go play around somebody's mind and play around people like that. That's a cracker. I don't care what group you with. You can say you're a Freemason. I'm gonna say you're a cracker. You can say you're Illuminati. I'm gonna still say you're a cracker. And you can say you're a 5%er. You can even say that. I'm gonna say you are a cracker. Okay? I don't care what cloak you hide behind. I don't care what you hide behind. A man like me, a prophet, is gonna see that you are an ignorant person. Hide behind things, and it ain't gonna work, okay? Because as long as you don't have no charges, buddy, you a cracker to me. I don't care I don't care what you talking about. You a cracker. And that's that. I don't care how you feel about it either. I call it how I see it. Ain't no way in the world you're gonna tell me it's something else. What else is it? Something you done made up when you play with a black man and it's okay. The only reason you feel it's okay because you done got with them white folks. You done got with the Americans. Nah, it ain't okay. If you play with somebody and you ain't got no charges, it's never okay. It's never okay. And if you think we all together, you get treated like a cracker. Because like I said, only a cracker gonna think we all together. That's part of it. He gonna think we all together. We ain't all together. I can still show you where black people are being killed in this country from white people. And as long as it's like that, how we all together? Or better to say, how we all have the same experience. We don't all have the same experience. And you can say you can work hard and it won't be that way. That's not that. I done worked hard and still suffered discrimination on the job now. So on more than one job. Okay, so that's my experience. Maybe you're a black person that ain't never had racial discrimination, real racial discrimination. Maybe you ain't never go through it. Maybe you never went through it. You know what I'm saying? I have been through it. Okay? And so I don't feel that we're all together. I don't feel that we're all together. And I don't even feel that all black people are all together. No, we not. No, we not. Because you work for crackers. And you try to dress it up like you don't, but you do. You got house niggas and field niggas, right? The house Negro and the field Negro. That's what Malcolm X taught. The house Negro today is in the field. The house Negro is in the field. The field Negro is in the house. Geographically. Literally. The field Negro is in the house. Because he's out the way of all the stuff that the white man is doing. The house Negro is in the field because all the white man's agenda is in the field. So the house Negro is in the field geographically because he's serving the white agenda purpose of destroying us with drugs, killing, and all of that. That's white agenda. Indirectly, it's racist white agenda, right? So he's serving that agenda. He in the field serving that agenda. That's a house nigga. A field nigga see all this going on, the gang stalking and everything, and he retreats, militarily speaking, into the house. And so the field nigga is out the way. In other words, for a lack of a better expression, he's out the way. He's not out here in these streets no more. That's why you find the most intellectual people, we out the way. We ain't out there in the street. We understand too much what's going on. All the gang stalking, all the foolishness, all these lame dudes out here. You know what I'm saying? Nah. We don't even compete with people like that. even intellectually. You can't see me intellectually. You couldn't even have the same caliber of conversation or videos that I do. You can't even make a video that meets my standard. You couldn't. You can't go from issue to issue and talk like I do just from the heart. I'm talking from the heart. This is how I'm built. I'm just talking from the mind, the heart, the soul. You know what I'm saying? You're not built like that. Okay, so see, it's more than one fight. It's more than one fight to win. You can't win this fight where we talk about real things and where you look like a clown. As secret societies and Freemasons and Illuminati, you look like straight clowns. You can't have nobody to come and speak for you to make you look intelligent, to make you look like you deserve to be in the world we live in. I speak and people see I deserve to be in the world we live in. You can't even open your mouth and people will believe that you deserve to be in the world we live in, sucker. That's what it's coming down to, extermination. Who deserves to be here and who doesn't. And as long as I'm talking like this, buddy, listen, people gonna see the need for me to be here. Whether I get along with people or not, you waiting for me to, you a sucker, you waiting for me to get along with people. With half of these real niggas ain't getting along with nobody. Including other niggas. Yeah, wake up, Bill Cosby boy. You're a Bill Cosby kid. You think we supposed to get along with each other. What world you? That's been gone since the 80s and the 90s. We don't get along. Black people don't get along with each other, so why would I be held to some standard that they don't live? The bottom line is, whether you call it racism or not, they don't get along with each other. They kill each other. So how you gonna even challenge me in any form or fashion is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You need to wake up to the real world. This ain't soul brother time. This ain't soul sister time no more. It's been gone and you've been knew it been gone. You've been seeing the signs of it being gone. So you can't hold me to another standard when it's gone. When it's gone, it's gone. You can't hold me to no standard. You can't hold me to no higher standard. No, you kill each other, right? Okay, so don't try to come see me then. That's it. Until you live up to your own standard as collectively as a community, don't try to come see me. Because you can show me all these cool black people and I'm going to show you all this cool killing out here. I'm going to show you all these cool killings where these kids and black people getting killed. You can show me all these cool black people and I'm going to show you all these cool killings. That's all I'm going to do. Because ain't no need to show me a couple cool black people. They ain't gonna stop. They ain't a drop in the bucket. That ain't going to change my perspective or nobody's perspective. See, this is the righteous Africans. The righteous African realize that, just like the Africans, that when you're weak, you got to be killed off. And unfortunately for you, see, Africans used to kill off the weak. They would kill off the weak people. That's what I've been told. In the case of me and you might perceive me to be the weak, but I prove to be strong in the world we live in every form and fashion. I'm sure you know that. You are the weak. You're up for almost extermination. That's the danger you're in. You're in the danger zone because it's no reason for you to be here. That's what I'm saying. It's no reason for you to be here. Being alive is not enough. When you got all these trifling bums. Being alive, telling me you're alive, you're alive. You didn't act like a life. You didn't act like you had a heart. You didn't act like you had a brain in the world we live in. See, people like that, even if they was mentally sick, they got killed off because you don't project yourself like you got a brain. So it's no reason. A lot of you, it's no reason for you to be here. And don't let white supremacists get a hold of that perspective, which they already have. That's when extermination comes in, and you know it, man. If you could see all these people killing, why should they be here? They done got so bad they killing their own people, so they can't talk about them preserving themselves because they're not doing it. They don't fight for it. So then that's gone. So what else is left? Nothing. And you haven't come to terms with it because you're biased. You're in the biggest danger zone you ever been as black people. Because you contradict yourself so much, you can't even talk to people about anything you're doing. You can't. What you gonna talk to me about you doing? That's gonna make sense. You gonna value your life, but other people are not. And that's the world we live in too. Where you value your life, right? So it's no need to articulate you valuing your life. How is it of value to us? as humanity outside of America? How would you see if you don't think other countries see the killing that black people doing? Other countries, Russia, China, everybody see all these niggas running around killing each other. You don't think they see that? Okay, so you can't go run to them and put your best person forward because they gonna see all this other stuff. And then them being on the outside, how you think they gonna look at it? That you changed and that the present generations are nothing like the past African American generation. It's a night and day difference. And therefore you don't get the pass of like Malcolm X and MLK. You don't get that pass because you two different types of community. And that's what you did for yourself. You did that to yourself. I ain't do it to you. You did it to yourself, buddy. You did all this killing, and now you don't even get the same acknowledgement. You don't get the benefit of the doubt like Malcolm X and MLK. You don't get the benefit of the doubt. Why should you keep getting a pass as if you are like them, but you're not? How long does that pass last? How long the pass last? How long should you say we should look at you contradicting yourself, but see you as a Malcolm X or MLK descendants, but see you like them? How long should we see you like that, but you killing each other? What time frame would you expect? Let's just say outside of yourself. You seen another people, and they came up through slavery, everything. They fought for their rights, everything like that, and everybody had compassion because of what they went through. But then somewhere along the way, they started killing each other and killing their own children. How long do you think from that starting point that we should give you the acknowledgement like you used to be? How long should we, 50 years of killing each other and killing your own children? How long are we going to see you the same way? How long are we going to give you the same acknowledgement that you are the same type of people? How long does that last? After consistently killing every year, consistently killing children and killing your own people, how long do we give you a pass? I'm talking about the real big dog conversation. How long we give you the pass to be seen that you're not like them? You're like a whole different animal, literally. You even look different, look bugged out, more bugged out. So how long do we give you a pass as to say you're the same nature of Malcolm X, but you're not? So how long does it last? How long does the egg timer last? How many generations and how many decades do we give you? That where you're nothing like Malcolm X. You're nothing like him. Nothing like him. Not even intellectual like him. You're nothing like him. So how long do we give you a pass when you're two different people? I count 40-some years already. 40, 50 years already. And that's why it's ending. You've had 40, 50 years going on 60-something years after Malcolm X and MLK, and you're nothing like them no more. And that's the facts. And here's the punchline. How you think God looking at it? Like y'all like Malcolm X and MLK? God knows you ain't. God knows you're not. So guess what? You don't get the same benefit of the doubt and grace and favor from God that you once got during the times of Malcolm X. You ain't getting that grace no more. That's why it's gone. All the killing, all the stuff, and then you play with his prophet, it's over with. That's who you are now. Okay? So it's a war between the righteous Africans and the wicked Africans. And the wicked Africans are connected to the culture. That's why people even took them seriously. The reason why you even got taken seriously, because wicked Africans are in the culture. They the ones yapping and talking in the culture. And the righteous Africans are not connected to the culture. We don't supposed to be. We righteous. We abstain from the culture. That's why we don't go. That's the only closest thing we get to the culture is being on these videos and doing stuff like this. Other than that, we ain't gonna connect to no the American culture full of foolishness and all of that. We're not connected to it. Okay? So this is not a war where it's between sellouts and the real Africans like these bozos try to tell you. That's how they paint it. Like we the sellouts and they the real Africans. You the wicked Africans and we the righteous Africans. That's what it is. We the righteous Africans and you the wicked Africans. Okay, you played with me first of all. Okay, you ever know somebody to be a sellout, but black people played with him first? Black people played with him first about some stuff they heard. You played with me first, right? Yes, you did. You played with me first, right? Okay, so then, how you gonna produce understanding that I'ma sell out when you played with me first, and there was nothing going on till you played with me? Wait, see, you a clown, bro. That's all it is. And see, you up for extermination. I hate to tell you. It ain't got nothing to do with racism. It's just it's a law of the land, bro. It's a law of the land. I can show you in Africa, they would do the same thing to you. If you was killing each other and killing children in Africa, you would be up for extermination. And that's how you need to hear it. And your own African people will kill you off. Like they don't want no descendants from you. They don't want none of you. They don't want none of you to live. Anybody like you. They don't want none of that alive. They just rather just kill it off and start over. I can show you what God killed off people and started over. When the flood came and Noah came, God killed the whole world and started over. God has even expressed this temperament of killing off and starting over. Noah, when 8 people in the boat, everybody else died, including, and what people don't think about is teenagers and children were drowned in the flood. If you believe in it, okay, so the grandmothers, aunts, uncles, all that died. It wasn't, see, some people don't think about the literal things. Think about things literally. Okay, so when the flood came in the Bible, children, teenagers, grown grandmothers and grandfathers, all the stuff that we adore in family, in the family unit, they died. Okay? It was not profitable anymore. See, I'm convinced that there are some Negroes that are not profitable and there's profitable Negroes. All Negroes are not profitable. All black people are not profitable. No, they're not. So then what you do with the non-profitable? Well, they don't profit nothing. I'm listening. The true profit of a man is that he can be broke and still be profitable. I'm still profitable and I ain't got no money. That's the true test of who you are, have your true value, right? Y'all got money and still you're non-profitable. Cause all you're gonna do is hoard it to yourself and then you teach other people to kill and do all kind of stuff. And so how are you profitable? That's what I'm saying. And if you think this is just my mentality, how you think God see you as profitable but you're not profitable? Oh, he just waiting for you to get saved. You think that's what God doing? You simple-minded, bro. You very simple-minded. You think God just waiting on you to get saved? God just sitting there waiting for you to get. That's almost narcissistic for you to even think that. God's just waiting on you to get saved. And he ain't gonna do nothing because he's just waiting on you. It don't work like that, Big Bubba. It don't work like that, Baby Bubba. After a certain time, listen, God is gonna get rid of you. See, the problem with you is you begin to have the same complex that the white man had. Oh, you a black supremacist, which means you put black up here and everybody down there. Just because you got persecuted as one tribe in African, I mean, you could say all over the community, but you're basically over the world community, but you're looking at yourselves here in America. And you're putting yourself way up here on this pedestal, which if you don't choose God, you'd still die and burn in hell, right? Don't matter what you've been through. That's life. You can go through slavery and still go to hell. And that's how you need to hear it, buddy. You can go through slavery and still burn in hell. You can go through discrimination with these white people and still burn in hell, buddy. It's not no all in all pass to get free. That's how hard life really is. See, you didn't really carry the real burden of life. You didn't put the real burden on. You know what the real burden is? The real burden is no matter how bad we get treated, you still can go to hell. Boom. Go through all this and still burn in hell. That's the real burden of life. You can go through all this stuff and you still got to get your soul right. You still got to be a good person. Even though you treated like you treated. Even though it dawns on you that people like you ain't going to be treated no better than you treated. You ain't going to never be treated no better. Do you think so? I don't think so. I think this is as good as it gets. Oh, well, I think we hit a plateau. How about that? At least we don't know how long that's going to last. Because we still going through stuff. It ain't going to get no better. Oh, it's going to get real good for black people. You think so? You think so? Do you think it's gonna get real good? Let me ask you a yes or no question. Do you think it's gonna get real good for black people? It's not, is it? This is good as it gets, buddy. They ain't beating you in the head. They ain't cracking no whip. That's what they talk about. This is good as it gets. That's what it is. Okay? So that's like for me as a black man, how I've been taught, it's easy for me to renege on all my love for America anyway. So all you had to do is put me to the test and I just hate your country. Because I'm already groomed to hate you from what you did through all the generations of black people. That's a grooming in itself. It's a grooming in itself based on what you already did to black people. To where I could just easily snap and just hate you because all you did. I'm gonna just snap and see it all. I'm gonna get triggered and realize all the stuff you did, and you're doing stuff now, I hate you. That's what it is. Okay? And and that's being human. That's being human. And some people, I don't walk a tightrope like some of these other people do. I'm gonna say exactly what I feel. If it's not sin, I'm gonna say exactly what I feel. The bottom line is we all do not experience the same experience here in America. And you stepped on the wrong toes and you thought I was gonna die like everybody else, and I didn't. See, this time, the good guy wins. That's what this is about. This is about God saying enough is enough for these crazy Americans playing with good people, good black people. And it don't matter if they got black people on their side. It don't matter about we don't care nothing about them. We looking at the black person they playing with. That's what we looking at. So if you're not smart, you're gonna be a retarded person talking about your blackness. Your blackness don't apply in this situation. It does not. So it ain't no need to talk about you being black and who you are. We don't care about that. We looking at them playing with certain black people, right? That's what we looking at. These Americans are playing with certain black people. We don't care who you are. We don't care about the black people that's with you. We don't care about them. You're going to have black people with you. That's a common sense in America, in New York, in 2026. You're going to have black people that don't care nothing about other black people. They're going to be with America, right? Right. So it's a tricky situation where it's about race, but it's not, right? Where when they black over there, we don't care nothing about them. We don't care nothing about them because they on agenda of like roaches. They don't care nothing about nothing but the little roach stuff. They get little food they get, the little debris they get. They ain't never talking about no little living wage. They just care about the debris. A roach can't eat a steak anyway. Think about it. A steak will sit there and the roach won't be able to eat the whole steak. How you gonna get the whole steak in it? So what can the roach actually eat? He can't get the steak in him. The steak is bigger than him. How you gonna get the steak in him? A roach can never eat a steak. That's food for thought, buddy. Boom. A roach can't eat a steak. The steak is too big. How you gonna get this? How you gonna stomach the steak? You ever thought about this? He can't eat a steak. A roach can't eat no steak. How you gonna eat a steak? These people are roaches, and they pose as black people. They masquerade with a mask, like you ever seen the movie Us, where it shows the evil black people and the righteous black and the good black people? It's the same thing we dealing with. They got a mask on like they African, man. I've been around Haitian, Jamaican, Ethiopians. You are like crackers to me. That's it. That's how we see you. I'm not one of those ignorant black people. Ain't never been around no different tribes of African. I've been around many tribes of African, different vibration. You are a cracker that's caught up in the American culture. That's what you are. That's all. So you don't represent blackness to me. When I done seen Jamaican, Haitian, Ethiopian, you don't represent that to me. You don't represent African to me. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what you do. I don't care what terms you use. You can talk about bummer clots. And to me, you all are bummer clots because you don't serve God. To Jesus Christ, you all are bummer clots. You shouldn't even be able to use that word out your mouth. As low rank as you are, you're not even intellectual. You talking about bummer so you can't even talk right. You can't even think right. You can't even, you couldn't even produce, anybody say call me a bummer clock, you should be able to make a video is better than mine. Go make a video better than mine talking about real issues. You can't even articulate yourself properly. You too scared. You camera shy, ain't you? You camera shy. You shouldn't even be able to use the word bummer clock, buddy. You can't even get on a video and articulate yourself as a grown man or grown woman. You can't even talk like a grown man or a grown woman about grown man and grown woman issues. You can't even talk about grown man and grown woman issues, but you a man. But you're not a bummer clock. See, you make me laugh, buddy. You understand me? I guess you had to see it for yourself, didn't you? Now you see it for yourself, don't you? Why you listen? You should know a black man. How I'm gonna be this confident for no reason? How I'm gonna be confident like this, talking like this, and ain't nothing going on? I ain't never known no black man to talk like this and ain't nothing going on. I mean, you know, you might shuck and jive a little bit, but you ain't gonna be every day like I am, sliding and talking and nah. That's how you know something going on, because I'm doing too much talking, buddy, and I'm making too much sense with doing all the talking that I'm doing. I'm making too much sense with it, buddy. And what you doing? Y'all up for extermination, not me. Y'all up for extermination. And here's the punchline. God is most likely going to be the one that exterminates you. God is going to exterminate you, bro. You listen, how you going to come out as a collective community against a prophet, but you've been killing each other this whole time? And you don't think God going to look at that because you've been so used to suppressing this reality yourself through being biased that you didn't even realize that this part of reality is what's coming back to bite you in the butt. All the killing that you've been doing over the years, now that's coming back. That's all it is. That's all it is. What's the excuse? Like I told you, the real burden of life is I can get treated like a slave. I can go through all these ghettos, and if you don't live for God, you're gonna burn in hell. And it don't matter what you've been through. That's the real burden of life that your mom and your dad should have put on your back. Being black ain't gonna get you into heaven, boy. Being black ain't gonna get you into heaven, girl. You can be black all day and you're gonna burn in hell if you don't live right. That's the real burden. So you realize you can't rely on being black. That's how many people are. They're handicapped. They think people give them a pass because they black. You ain't getting a pass this time. You know why? Because God is involved. That's why. So white people can give you a pass. They can let you do what you want to do. But black people, God ain't letting you do it. God is not giving you no pass. And that's what it is, buddy. The best thing you could have did was to act like you know. That's the best thing you could have did. And made it right with the prophet. You would have made it right with me and act like you know. And stop acting like these, like I'm a white folk that you're going to just bamboozle and play with and get out of it and wiggle your way out of it. Not this time. Not this time. See, you should have knew that with the end of the world, black people going to fall apart too. Well, how they going to just be standing and doing everything? And no, they going to fall apart with everybody else. Black people going to fall apart with everybody else. It's already going to happen if you got your priorities straight. They already fell apart, killing each other and killing their own children. They been fell apart based on how they used to be treated in this country and what they fought for. And now they killing each other. They been fell apart. You just became biased about it. You became so biased, you suppressed that part of history. That's how biased you became. But it was the biggest alarming problem, the elephant in the room the whole time. That was the elephant in the room the whole time. Black people killing each other. And now, judgment has come on all that killing. See, when Minister Farrakhan tells you, I'm not going to be talking to black people not too much longer. And I'm paraphrasing. You can go back and look at Minister Farrakhan's message on Savior's Day. On Savior's Day, July 4th, 2020. Right in the middle of COVID. Right in the heat of COVID. Farrakhan talked about not talking to black people anymore. Farrakhan proved to love black people more than you. You know how you know what I base that on? I base that on his work for black people. It's people that got passion and all this passion, these fleeting emotions for black people, but you ain't going out there in the trenches. You ain't getting nothing done out there. So all you got is this emotion for black people, these feelings. So I don't feel like you really love black people. I gauge it based on those who actually are out here doing the work. And Minister Farrakhan has done so much work for black people. He loves black people more than half of these niggas out here. And I base it on work, real work. You can sit up and have all the passion and emotion, but it has to get put to the test. The true test is your work. What your work is for black people. What have you said worthwhile for black people? I can show you my work, what I've said concerning black people. What's your work? I got work concerning black people. Me talking about minimum wage and racism and all the stuff that's going on, I can go through all these videos. See, you just thought I was a sellout, and I don't see how you could have thought that if you ain't listened to all, if you heard all my messages. I got work for black people. What you got? Oh, passion. We don't, man, listen, bro. And then that passion wind up being against other black people. That's what I'm talking about. Because you ignorant. You ignorant of your own people and how ignorant they are, right? You can love black people, but you can understand how you can still realize and accept how ignorant they are. You don't try to dumb it down. See, the sellout is the person that sell out to some other reality. To me, that ultimately, you know, if you sell out to any reality, that's what makes you a sellout. You're a sellout because you really don't tell black people what they need to know. All this killing, suppressing that, all of that, you ain't making it no better, bro. You're part of the problem. If you got a platform and you're telling people to kill each other, or you telling them to you're talking about the game and going out there hustling and everything like that, and you're projecting that stereotype over and over again, you ain't got the balance. Like I got the balance. I'll show you what's going on. I'll show you how people think, but I'll show you the whole balance. I'll show you basically everything, life, the whole reality, how it should be. And some people can't paint that reality. They can't paint it. So I don't let them kind of people think they in my world. You're playing yourself. Just like these people think they rappers and they not. You think you a gangster. He might have been a gangster, but you not. So it's the same thing. You think you're in my lane, you ain't in mine. You ain't in my lane either. No more than you ain't in these rappers' lane. You ain't in their lane and you ain't in my lane. You just thought you was because I was close enough for you to see me and hear me. But me and you ain't in two different, we ain't in the same lane, bro. That's obvious. How I articulate myself just off the cuff, just off the strength of how I articulate myself. Me and you are two different animals, bro. And that's facts. That's facts. Me being the only person talking about America marrying children. How can you think you can stand in the ring with me with a straight face? What black man can stand in the ring with me in America? And y'all marrying children and you ain't know nothing about it. Your daddy didn't know about it. Your granddaddy didn't know about it. Your mama and them didn't know about it. Your whole family was ignorant like slaves and didn't even know your country was marrying children. So how can you stand in the face of a prophet? You can't. You arrogant. That's all it is. And we know, we can read through that and know you can't see me one day of the week, buddy. Not one day of the week. Your whole family didn't even know nothing about child marriage. Your grandma didn't know. She died ignorant. Your mama and them died ignorant. They died ignorant. I died, listen, I didn't die, but I'm alive right now. I'm awake right now. Your family died. Listen, you forced my hand to show them. You came out here like they running stuff, like they know what they doing. Like they top spiritual, top knowledgeable, top intellectual. And I can go back to your grandmother. She ain't know nothing and you don't know nothing. That's the first rule. That's the first move somebody gonna do on ignorant black people, is to show you your whole family was slaves. But you out here on Front Street like you can see the prophet. But I can take you back before you was even born, and they were slaves. They didn't even know nothing. That ain't no, listen, buddy. That's when it comes. That's the reality that it comes to when I sit somebody down that think they in some other reality based on the culture. Now you realize where you really at. as a black person. Well, your whole family didn't even know nothing. Didn't know nothing. But you supposed to be who? How we got black people is you right here watching the child marriage too. Oh, you thought it was just the white people. Oh, well, here's some bad news for you. You think the last time they passed these child marriage laws, black people wasn't involved? There wasn't no black people in the law process of passing child marriage in California. It was all white people. They passed new child marriage laws July 1st, 2019. So you telling me in the whole process of making the laws, the whole law-making process, knowing the systems of America, you telling me there wasn't no black people involved in the systems of America to make the new child marriage laws July 1st, 2019? It wasn't no black people involved in the process. It wasn't no Hispanic or Latinos involved in the process. That's common sense. Because they all have jobs. Black people, Hispanic and Latinos have jobs in the law-making process, right or wrong. In all these buildings where they make laws and everything, you think it was all white people? You think it was all white people today when you made new child marriage laws? You made the new ones, right? You don't think no black people was involved? No black people was involved. Of course they was. So now you got to update yourself where black people helped to pass child marriage laws in America. If you think it was just white people, you must be retarded. In America now, with all these black people in all kind of judicial positions and law positions and processing of this, processing of that, processing of this and processing of that, you telling me no black people was involved in the process of passing child marriage laws in America in July 1st, 2019? Of course they was. So what means your community has to have a seat as well because you're liable. Now, if it was just white people, then you could stand up righteous. You can't stand up righteous, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you. In fact, Barack Obama said nothing about child marriage laws, did he? Barack Obama was in the White House 2 terms. Why didn't he address child marriage laws in the United States of America? Huh? He ain't address it, did he? Man, come on, stop playing with me, bro. Stop. You listen, you can't see me, bro. On everything I love. On everything I love, y'all can't see me. Barack Obama said nothing about child marriage laws. Right or wrong? Okay, so how these roaches gonna see me in Brooklyn? Oh, you thought Brooklyn just because Brooklyn is full of roaches too? What history? I don't care about what history. They roaches. It's the same game here as we can see. Now, can't we? I seen plenty of roaches out there. What, you thought you had a bulletproof vest because you from Brooklyn? You got these roaches right here too. Ignorant niggas here too in Brooklyn. You ain't fooling me. What you thought? I thought the world of it? Oh, because of Biggie or Jay-Z? I don't care. But listen, that ain't gonna form my opinion. I'm a base it on how black people move, and I know it's roaches here too. That's what I'm basing it on. You got me messed up with one of these little white boys with dreadlocks in their head. Oh, the little white boys that wear dreads. You thought I was one of them, didn't you? You thought I was the little white boys, little island boys, the island boys. You thought I was an island boy, didn't you? The ones that wear the dreads, the little white boys wear the dreads. Man, listen, man. I told these people I'm more African than they are. They don't believe it, do they? Because they don't know what African is. Oh, they think if you're super dark-skinned, you African. Well, I can show you dark-skinned people that ain't African. Complexion means nothing, buddy. Bloodline means everything. And like I told half of you black people, you don't even know your DNA. What's your DNA? What bloodlines you came from? And if you did it because of me, you now my student. My intellectual DNA is in you because the only reason you did it was because of me. So indirectly, you become my student. If you get any information from me, indirectly you are my student, whether you accept it or not. If you tell the truth and you didn't know about child marriage, you are indirectly my student. If you don't got your DNA, or you did get your DNA tested only because I told you didn't know what African you was and you went and did it. Listen, you are my student. You learned from me. And that's how God gonna look at it. He taught these dumb people. They didn't know anything. They didn't even know their country was marrying children. They didn't even think about, as an African American, I don't know what tribe of African I actually come from. So then what type of African are you? What type of African? Oh, we know you're African. But what tribe of African you come from? West African. No, you don't know that for sure. You don't know that for sure. What tribe of African you come from? If you didn't do no DNA test, you don't even know what type of African you are. Your whole life, you lived your whole life not even knowing what type of African you are. Your grandma, your granddaddy, your grandparents didn't even know what type of African they was. They lived and died and didn't even know what type of African they was. Your aunts and uncles sitting around frying fish and don't even know what type of Africans they are. Talking about we love being black. We black people. Don't even know what African you are. What type of African are you? How we know you African? Oh, because of your appearance. I can show you people look just like you from another tribe. I can show you Indian people from India, darker than you, darker skinned than you. How we know you African? How we know? Oh, my features, that's not enough. That's not enough with my understanding. That's not enough. We don't even know if you're really African. See that part right there? See that part? Which proves they don't care nothing about you. You know probably why? Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you what it is. They got that slave master in their blood. That's why black people can trip. Listen, I'm gonna do a whole video on this. A lot of black people, you know why you can betray black people so easily? Because that's the slave master in your blood, buddy. Oh, he in your blood. Most of you got slave master in your blood because of him impregnating black African slaves. And see, you know what's conflicting with the black man, with the other black man? The cracker in you, that slave master in you, that's what it is. That's why other Africans can get along with each other, and it's you that's the problem. You know what it is? You got that slave master cracker in you. That's what it is. His blood is in you, buddy. See, I just changed it around. I made it work for me. But you become a slave master killing other black people. That's what it is. That's what's speaking through you. See, people don't know bloodlines and different bloodlines. If you come from a slave master that didn't care nothing about black people, you don't think you could be inclined to be the same way. And his blood is running through your veins, whether you like it or not. That's what it is. That's the energy that's behind you. That's that slave master. That's why I don't mind killing you off. As far as African American, listen, I don't contradict myself. When you play a position of a slave master like you playing with me, I don't mind killing you off because I know what's speaking through you. What's speaking through you is that slave master. That what your actions is those of white supremacists because he's in your blood. While you think you a nigga, you got that slave master in you. And you telling me that don't play a role in your energy? Oh yeah, it do. Yeah, it do. That's right. That's why they fighting each other. It's the slave master in the other nigga that's fighting the other nigga. It's something worth thinking about. It's something worth thinking about. I wouldn't even say it if it wasn't worth thinking about. You know he ain't they blood. Not the Jamaicans. Not the Haitians. I'm talking about these African Americans. They got that cracker in their blood. That's why they don't mind killing each other. And then you don't find Haitians on the news, do you? You don't find Jamaicans on the news, do you? You know who on the news? The black people with that cracker in them. That's the one that's on the news all the time. And I think that's what it is. I really think that's part of it. That's what's gonna attack, and then they can act like they halfway black, see? But at that moment in time, it was that white boy in you that played that position. When you kill somebody else, guess what it was? More times than not, it was that slave white man in you. That slave owner in you. That slave owner white man in you. That's what it was. That's why I don't mind killing you off if I got to. Because I know it's that you got cracker in you, buddy. We know. Listen, you can play that role like you want to. I guarantee you got cracker in you, and that's why you're moving like you're moving, buddy. And listen, we can kill it out of you. We can kill that cracker out of you. But in order to kill that crack out of you, we gotta kill you all together. So you thought it was you. You thought it was me. No, it's you. I'm from North Carolina. I ain't a black man. I'm black as they come. That's why the secret societies had to try to fight my blackness. Because you can't compete with a man from North Carolina about being black. No. And they know that. So then what you gotta do? You gotta try to make me like I'm some Drake type of dude. Like man, you know darn well looking at me, I ain't no Drake type of dude. If you thinking that, you retarded. You retarded, bro. That's all it is. If you thinking that, you retarded. You can look at me and tell I ain't no Drake type of dude. That dude is beige. No disrespect. That dude is beige, bro. Do I look beige to you? I'm caramel, bro. I'm not no beige black dude. That's just you trying to tear my character down, trying to take something else from me. You can't take it from me. Me being from North Carolina, listen, one thing you can't take away from me is being black. And I don't care nothing about them other niggas down there, because they just like you. They got that cracker in them too. Okay, so you know, that I don't vouch for all North Carolina people. I vouch for me. I vouch for me because I only know about me. I vouch for me. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm good. I don't know all these other niggas in North Carolina is good. I know I'm good though. So you can't just think North Carolina is good. Might not be the case. Might not be the case. They might not be good. So you know, man, like people just want to look you in your face. You know what I'm saying? They want to look you in your face and try to see you, bro. And you know, if you're a grown man, you wind up playing yourself, bro. Ain't nobody. You ain't playing me. You definitely ain't playing me. Cause I know you ain't the man I am. I know you ain't the adult that I am for women. You ain't the adult that I am. No, you're not. Why? Cause you got a position. You got a work position. Man, listen. Like I said, Minister Farrakhan put in the real work for black people over the years, right? He put in the real work, right? Okay, what work have you done for black people? Oh, thinking you bringing me to justice, thinking I'm a sellout, and thinking, man, come on, you can't be serious, man. You part of the problem. You a roach just like the rest of these roaches. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. The only sellout is those who you are embracing right now, which is killing each other and killing, and that's almost cliche to you, which means you are not profitable. If that's cliche to you and that don't mean nothing to you, that means you're not profitable, which means you're up for extermination by your own people. Oh, you thought that was me? No. You're up for extermination. See, that's what it's all about right now. That's who's up for extermination. You. Playing and conspiring against other black people for fun. Just the classic sign of a nigga. And all that done is put you up for extermination. How it comes, by what means it comes, I don't know. But I know God has judgment on your community, on the African American community. Yes, he do. Because you played with the prophet. You ain't gonna play with me, buddy. I put that on all my credibility. You can't play with a prophet and think God ain't gonna judge your whole community because you've been through slavery and y'all been through discrimination. You still can go to hell, which means you also still can get judged. If you can get judged, if you can go to hell, how you can't get judged? How you can't get corrected? How can you not be under God's wrath and you can still go to hell if you live the wrong way? So if you can, so everything applies. Everything applies. Everything applies. That's what I want you to realize. Because some of y'all would think because you're black, oh, you got a pass to do whatever you want to do. And that's how you played yourself. That's how you played yourself. Because listen, God's wrath is coming down on these black people, whether you like it or not. And the bad part about it, in order to get rid of all these clowns, the system got to be shut down. It's about to be some hard times that y'all ain't ready for. The system got to get shut down to get rid of all these people that's playing games. I mean, it's no other way. It's no other way. You know, if we could zap each one of them individually, then that's what we would do. But in this situation where so many people also that has been used and allowed themselves to be used by other black people or other white people or Americans, you allowed yourself to be used by these people. Okay, so then we got to get you too. So not only the people part of these secret societies, the people that help them must suffer as well. With that being said, how are we going to get all of them? This ain't magic. God doesn't work magic. I don't work magic. So how we gonna get all of them? How we gonna get everyone that deserves to suffer? How we gonna get every single? Because I'm all about every single one. You might be about half that make you feel comfortable, like you got revenge. No, I want every last one of them. Because that's an individual. That's an individual. And that's how I look at it. That's an individual that chose to use their free will to do what they did. So why shouldn't they suffer the same judgment? What should happen to them? Nothing? So then realistically, because that's what I'm all about, realistically, how do we get all these people? The systems. The systems have to shut down. And that'll get them all. Listen, it won't be the same world. You won't want to live. When you see what's coming, if this system shuts down, when it shuts down, you won't want to live anymore, buddy. You know why? Because the world that you once knew, that you grew up in, boogalooing and breakdancing and all of that, that's going to be all gone. All that breakdancing is gone, buddy. Disco balls and everything in between. You could add gay flags, all of that stuff gone. It ain't gonna be no gay world. You another community that think you're gonna strive and thrive. Buddy, listen, all of this is going away. Gay people think they get on videos and commercials and stuff talking about, yeah, we gonna be always here. As long as the rest of us are here. Makes sense. As long as the rest of us are here, you'll be here. You ain't gonna just be here off the strength of being gay, bruh. So you're forced to look at these politics as well. You're forced to consider these realities out there as well. If you gay and you think you're going to just survive like a gay Superman, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. You didn't pay attention to other realities, I guess you could say. That's what happened to you. Okay? Because you ain't going to survive just being gay, buddy. You see the world we coming to? You ain't going to survive because you're a tranny or you're a lesbian or you're bisexual. Well, there's other things to consider. Like war, like economies, like the food stamps almost getting cut off. Yeah, got cut off on some of these gay people, I'm pretty sure. Because they live an unorthodox life. Many of them are on food stamps because of the way they live. They live unorthodox. They want to party all the time and want to have sex all the time. That's the truth for American gay people. Most of them want to party all the time, so we know most of them ain't got no job. Let's talk about it. Half of these gay people ain't got no job. They just want to party out there. They tricking out there. Come on, I know the game. I know how it is. Okay, so when them food stamps got cut, listen, you felt it, didn't you? Listen, the point is, you being gay ain't gonna stop all this other reality. These other things you gotta consider. Being gay ain't gonna put no S on your chest. Or a G on your chest in your case. Ain't gonna put no G on your chest, buddy. You got G on your chest for gay. You the gay Superman, you got G on your chest. See, all these little special people, including black people, they act like you special. Listen, the world is not gonna wait for you no more, because you all contradict yourself, and now that's why everything changed. You know why everything changed? Because y'all start contradicting yourself. Yeah, you can go fool these white folks. But we all know, like Tupac said, you and I know what's going on, right? You and I know what's going on. You contradict yourself too much. You kill each other too much. That's for black people, okay? You ain't the same people. You ain't even the same people that Tupac seen. You a whole different people from that time. Yeah, you are. Look at the stuff that's going on. All the gang stalking, black people playing around another black man. Tupac already said this. There's going to be some stuff you're going to see in the future that's going to make it hard to smile, but you can't lose your sense of humor. Who is that? Me. I'm the one with the sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one it will be hard for me to smile, but I keep my sense of humor. I'm the one with the sense of humor. You got dry sense of humor. That's 7 out. You got dry sense of humor, man. Come on, stop playing. That ain't you. You always think you the good part of being black. I hate to tell you. I hate to be a bearer of bad news. In this situation, you're not the good part of being black. You not. But you think you play that position. That's what I'm saying. You're in denial. Like Tupac also would say, you blind to the facts. That you play a whole different position than your ancestors would have played. See, what I realized is this. I only have to be loyal to the first and founding generations of African Americans. That's all I got to be loyal to. I don't have to be loyal to these present generations that play with people and kill their own people and eat their own children. You know what I'm saying? You might as well say it like animals, eating their own children. Like hamsters. Hamsters will eat their own children. That's why when you have hamsters, you got to put the male in a different cage when they have babies. Because the hamster, the male will eat the baby hamsters. The mother won't do it. That's why the mother have to be in the cage by herself, while the male has to be in another cage because they'll eat the babies. You eating your own babies, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing with me, bro. So, like, we don't see it no other kind of way. That's how it is. That's what's going on. You got you even your kids brainwashed like they some victims and they the ones killing each other. Even your children brainwashed to the reality that y'all killing each other more than anything else and anybody else. You raise your children with this biased, pathetic position and perspective. Like somebody doing something to you and you doing more to yourself than anybody else is doing to you. That's 7 out. Can't be serious. You raising your children on foolishness. Like they being victimized. But they victimizing each other in the hood all the time. Wake up to the real world. Okay? Where some black people are loyal to the founding fathers of black people, but they're not loyal to the present generations of Africans in America. Nope. You don't even know what tribe you come from. I can't stress that enough. Go find out what tribe you come from. Until then, me and you are on 2 different levels. I know where I come from. I know what tribe I'm from. You don't. So you're going to live and die and not know what tribe you come from. Oh, I'm West African. How we know that? You're simple-minded. That's what you are. You don't know what tribe you come from, do you? So how you on the level with the prophet? All these black people don't even know what tribe you come from. You don't. So then, what you want me to say? Me and you in the same lane and you don't even know what African you are? You don't know what country your family come from? You don't know what African country your family come from? You don't know your bloodlines, buddy. I keep telling y'all lames, go find out who you are. That's for all these people in Brooklyn. If you don't know where your bloodline come from, you are beneath me. You can go tell your mama and your daddy. You beneath me. Sitting around here trying to trigger walking their dogs like we like bestiality. Okay, yeah, walking their dogs beside us like we walk when I was walking down Utica like we don't know. That same black person, I guarantee you the little bastard don't know what tribe they come from. What tribe that person came from walking their dogs. As to insinuate like we don't know bestiality, like I want to have sex with dogs. But West Virginia, in the state of West Virginia, they got laws to have sex with animals. Well, they allow it. So you got a whole state that allows sex with animals. You got anything else to say, black man? Or black woman? Oh, well, in West Virginia, you can go look it up. West Virginia allows sex with animals. That's a whole state. Compare a whole state to some stuff you heard, like a nigga. Some stuff you heard, compare that to a whole state that allows sex with animals right here in the United States of America in 2026. July 30th, 2026. Yeah, sucker. That's for you while you're walking your dog trying to insinuate bestiality. The prophet knows. I know. I've been through it too much. I know what they insinuated. The only problem with that is your country is doing the same thing. Or what you're accusing other people of. Your country is having sex with animals in West Virginia. On the books. On the books, buddy. It's on the books, buddy. You know how people say it's for the books. No, it's on the books. What else you gotta say? What else you want to talk to the real sensei about? I'm the real sensei, sucker. What you want to talk about? What else you want to talk about? Your country was having sex with animals. Hawaii, they got rid of it, but Hawaii was having sex with animals too. The state of Hawaii had animal sex in Hawaii. Honolulu, Hawaii. Maui, Hawaii. Hawaii was having sex with animals. They had to get rid of it. They They was having sex with animals. Hawaii was having sex with animals. We don't care if you get rid of it. We know you was doing it. Okay, so you was doing it. So they can talk about history they think we got, but we can't talk about their history. You see the good part about it? Even if you got rid of it, now you're just on an even playing ground where now we can talk about your past like you try to talk about ours. Which means I can talk about New York marrying children right here in New York. Oh, well, it's your past. You're talking about our past. We on even playing ground. Okay, so then if you talk about my past, why can't you talk about yours? All you did trying to get rid of it is come down to even playing ground where we already knew what you was doing. See that part? We already seen what you were doing. You just got rid of it, and now we just talking about what you were doing. But you're not as competent enough to do the same thing. You was trying to talk about what I was doing in the past. We know what you was doing, and we talking about it. I'm more competent than you. Well, you trying to do the same thing I'm doing. Well, listen, I was doing it before you did it, which I was talking about you while you was doing it. You just got rid of it, and now I'm doing what you tried to do, which is talk about the past, about what I was doing. I'm doing that now. I'm talking about your past. You talking about mine, why I can't talk about yours? Oh, a white boy gonna say, well, we got rid of it. Aren't you a stupid little bushy-tailed little dumb bastard? You a dumb bushy-tailed little dumb bastard, ain't you? Well, we got rid of it. We got rid of it. We got rid of it. Really. Long as it's your past, that's all we care about, sucker. Long as we listen. We don't care about nothing but the truth. On the same even ground, playing ground. Listen. When you marrying children, and here in New York, when you having sex with animals throughout America, in Hawaii, wasn't you? Yes. Yes, that's it, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, you can't see me, bro. You playing yourself. You thought you could see me, didn't you? How you feel about that now? You still think you can see me? Do you still think you can see me? Do you think you still can see me? You still think you can see me, don't you? You still think you can see me, don't you? Man, listen, only a retarded person think you can see me after I told you y'all having sex with animals. What else? See, I'm able to confront like a real man. All the stuff these niggas is insinuating. Walking me past me with dogs and stuff, and I can feel the energy of what it really means. Oh, well, that's what makes me spiritual, buddy. God gonna reveal it to me. Think about it. If I claim to be a prophet, God ain't gonna show me what that means. Yeah, see, you think, a human think, oh, well, he can't say nothing. We just walking the dog by. But God gonna show me what it really means. You think, listen, but the punchline is you the one doing it. You the one having sex with animals, and you was having sex with animals in Hawaii, in Honolulu, in Honolulu, in Hawaii, you was having sex with animals. In Hawaii, man. Hey, in Hawaii, you was having sex with animals, wasn't you? Put an R on it. We put R's on everything in 2020. On Hawaii, you was having sex with animals, wasn't you? In Hawaii, you was having sex with animals. Yeah. See, it'd have been a lot easier if these people just admit it. Just admit it. You told me, I'm talking about you. Y'all having sex with animals, right? Enemies. Put a Y on it. Y'all having sex with enemies, right? Say it like your uncle. Y'all having sex with enemies. Y'all having sex with enemies, ain't you? Y'all having sex with enemies. You was. So then the prophet addressed everything these suckers talk about. So then if you was having sex with animals in Hawaii, in West Virginia, and 2 other states, 4 states, It came out to be 116 counties that allow sex with animals in your history. I counted up all the I literally counted up all the states, the counties in each state of those 4 states where you allow sex with animals. Guess how many counties it was with those 4 states? 116 counties of sex with animals, bestiality, zoophilia, however you want to put it. So you don't want to have this conversation, you little dumb bastard. You don't want to have this conversation. You don't know what your country was doing. They was having sex with animals. You got what else you want to talk about? Marrying children, that's what you were doing. What else you want to talk about? The lowest age you had sex with was 7 years old by law in America. 7. What else you want to talk about, buddy? The worst case of pedophilia was Officer Shadrack Jones, which was a black man that made a black mother perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child. What else? What else? What else? What else? That was a police officer, Shadrack Jones, down in Iberville, Louisiana. He made a black mother perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child. And there you have it, buddy. That's all wrapped up for you right there in a little bundle. Showing you that, see, it's you. On your own. That's the pedophile, buddy. The worst pedophilia is a 1-year-old child. What's worse than 5 years old? 1 year old. Do you understand fractions? What's 5 times worse than 5 years old? It's almost a trick question. What's 5 times worse than 5 years old in a sex act? What's worse than 5 years old? 1 year old. That's 5 times worse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a little bounce on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's worse than 5 years old? Oh, we're going to address this too. What's 5 times worse than 5? It's riddle me this, riddle me that, like the Riddler, right? What's 5 times worse? What's 5 times worse than 5 years old in a sex act with a 5-year-old child? What's 5 times worse than that? What's 5 times worse than someone sexualizing a 5-year-old child? What's worse than 5? What's 5 times worse than that? A 1-year-old child. That's 5 times worse by everybody's standard because the child is 5 times younger. What's only 5 times younger than 5 years old? What's the only number that's 5 times worse than 5? Same digit, 5 and 5. What's 5 times worse than 5 years old? 1 year old. Thought you knew numbers. I thought you was a mathematician. Oh, you was just built to be a beautician, wasn't you? You was just built to be a beautician, not a mathematician. You were just built to be a beautician, not a mathematician. Well, I didn't know that. What's 5 times worse than 5? 1. And no other number can be 5 times worse than 1. No other number can be worse than 5 times worse than 5 but 1. So let's do it again. What's worse than 5 years old that was sexualized 5 years old? What's worse than that? A 1-year-old child that was sexualized. That's 5 times worse. You did it right here in America. You did it right here in America, buddy. A 1-year-old child. You want to hear the story? Okay, we're going to get into the story. Police officer. I hate police. Police officer. Shadrack Jones. A black man. He was the one, he got the worst case of pedophilia. Oh, so that's for the black community. That's 7 out. Oh, well, the worst case of pedophilia is Officer Shadrack Jones. He's a black man. Oh, he isn't one of our own. I don't care what you say. He's black. That's what he is. He's black. The worst case of pedophilia in America, for all these people insinuating pedophilia, these little dumb little chicken heads insinuating pedophilia, the worst case was Officer Shatterick Jones. Officer Shatterick Jones was a black man that made a black mother perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child. The child was 1 year old, right here in America. This police officer, this is what's gonna make you mad when I say it like this. This police officer made a woman perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child right here in America. Go look it up, go look it up, go look it up, go look it up, go look it up. No, I want you to think about the reality of this. A police officer, the same ones riding around, these Freemason police, they was in the same position. This police officer was in the same position as these Freemason police be in. He was in the same position that the same police be in. He was in the same position that the police be in. Officer Jack Shatter, oh, this don't matter. This don't matter. You act like this don't matter. This is a 1-year-old child. Where was the black community? Oh, you know I gotta get you. Where was Brooklyn? No, hold up. Brooklyn, where was you at when Officer Shatterick Jones sexualized a 1-year-old child? Where was you at? Nobody said nothing. Where was these basketball players? All these old basketball veteran commentators. Where was all these black commentators? You know how they get, you know, all these NBA commentators. Where was they at when you need them? When this 1-year-old child was molested by a black man, a black police officer. You didn't know anything about this? Why didn't you? Where was Black Lives Matter? Where was Al Sharpton? Al Sharpton said something about Officer Shatterick Jones. Where was the NAACP? Where was the NAACP? Nowhere to be found. Where was the new Black Panthers? When this was a police officer that made a black mother perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child. Where was the Black Panthers? Where was Jay-Z? Jay-Z didn't say nothing about this, did he? Where was Beyonce? Beyonce didn't say nothing about it. Where was Kanye West? He the most vocal of all of them. Where was he at when Officer Shatterick Jones made a black mother perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child right here in America, right here in America, right here in America? Why didn't the police institution come out and do a statement on the behalf of the foolishness, the despicable foolishness of Officer Shatterick Jones that made a black mother perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child in her own house? He came to her house. The police. Where was New York? Where was the 5 boroughs? Man, you can't be serious, man. That's 7 out. Where was you at? And this, see, you can't tell me once again why the prophet knows stuff that you don't know about your own country. That's what I'm tripping off of. This supposed to be your country. Why I know stuff about your country that you don't know? And it's right here. It's public information. And you played with me. And I've been talking about Officer Shatterick Jones for how many years? I've been talking about Shatterick Jones for how many years? And you playing with me. That's why you died, buddy. That's why you died in the field, buddy. Just like DMX said, if you die young, it was cold. If you die young, it was cold, buddy. Listen, man. Listen. If your country died young, America is a young country. If you die young, it was cold. You should have knew all this wickedness and all these real people, all these real niggas in this country. How this country gonna last? Think about it. All of us together in one country. It was no way this was gonna work, man. You can tell. You can see it. You can see it because somebody gonna violate somebody on another level and it's gonna get taken up. That's all it is to it. It got taken all the way up, bro. When I'm the only one talking about Officer Shatterick Jones, which was perfect for black people. You fumbled. This was a police officer. He should have been slaughtered. He should have been, the whole police institution should have been slaughtered. We didn't even get a chance to do it. That's what I'm talking about. How does that happen? But you on your job, specifically with child molesters. That's why I hate you. How in the world you gonna miss Officer Shadrick Jones and you out here talking about you love these children? This man made a woman. Let me tell you the scenario. He came to her house to perform, to issue a traffic violation ticket. It's just weird in itself. He came to her house to issue a traffic violation. This is a real story, by the way. God knows this is a real story. So Officer Shadrick Jones comes to a black mother's house to issue a traffic violation ticket. Once arriving to her house in real time to issue the traffic violation ticket, this is a black man. This is a police officer, a everyday police officer, not a sergeant, detective, on the beat type of police officer, right? He comes to the black mother's house. He comes to the black mother's house, right? He comes to the black mother's house, right? While you trying to catch me on the slightest thing, you see what I'm saying? We got them on everything as Americans. He comes, you see what? That's why we hate him, bro. That's why we hate him. So, I'm telling the story, but I don't find pleasure in this story. But I'm progressing as I tell this. I'm progressing through it. You know what I'm saying? Being sure of who I am, being pure as I progress, right? Right. That's what a good man gonna tell you. Now you on the chopping block as Americans, right? So can you tell the nerds to sit down somewhere because they ain't got no room to do nothing? Okay, so back to the story. Officer Shadrick Jones comes to a black mother's house in 2019. Couldn't have been 2018. 2019. He came to a black mother's house to issue a traffic violation ticket. Once arriving there, he then persuades her to perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child. Officer Shadrick Jones is the most despicable human being in your country. He goes in the top 10 for sure. For sure. This is a 1-year-old child. This man made a woman perform a sex act on not a 5-year-old child. You know what's worse than 5? You know what's 5 times worse than a 5-year-old child? A 1-year-old child. 5 for 5 times worse. That's what 5 is for the trigger for now. That's 7 now. 5 is going to be for 5 times worse. He makes the woman perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child. He records it. He records the act. They found the act, he recorded it. Which means he went home and jacked off and looked at it. Because they didn't catch him right away. It might have been a week, couple weeks later, something like that. Probably. But she didn't know. She didn't call him right away. I don't think so. This dude had enough time to go home and masturbate. That's what he did. Come on. Men know that's what he did. If he recorded it, he ain't go home and masturbate. Of course. That's the first thing he did. He probably couldn't wait. I'm considering he probably didn't masturbate there at the place. So can you imagine? He couldn't wait to get home. He told this woman that it was his fantasy for a woman to perform a sex act on her own child or something like that. I'm guessing that's part of it. Maybe beyond the age, just the whole scenario. he deceived the woman and told her basically she would be locked up if she didn't. And on the note of that, she felt like she would be locked up or whatever. She was kind of slow. Okay, you could lock me up all day long. I'm not doing nothing on no child. You can go ahead and arrest me. That's what I'll tell you. You can go ahead and arrest me. I'll figure it out. Buddy. Especially if I know I ain't done too much or nothing, I'm gonna figure that out. So this woman was kind of scared, kind of slow, something like that. But that's no excuse. She's in jail and he's in jail. But the point is, your whole country dropped the ball. The whole United States of America dropped the ball concerning Officer Shadrick Jones because y'all should have went out and protest and made sure he got the maximum sentence. This is why you don't let cases get past you like this, because you make sure they get the maximum sentence. And you can't be sure about that. I don't think he got the maximum sentence. It could have been worse. It could have been worse, let's put it like that. If you had protested about him making a woman perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child. Now, what if it was a white woman? If it was a white woman, you even being a slave mentality person yourself, you would have had more compassion if a white woman had to perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child. You already feel like it's worse already. If this happened to a white woman, the whole American community would have went crazy. That a police came to the woman's house and made her perform a sex act on her 1-year-old child, a 1-year-old kid. A white woman had to do it. You would have lost your mind, buddy. It happens to a black woman and it's an obscurity. Nobody knows. It's a complete obscurity. Nobody even knows about it. But then, ironically, the same person you've been playing with, the prophet is the one that told everybody. I introduce people to this information. And this is not for you to be on my side, because see, you American lame, right? You think this means you can be on my side. No, you can go voucher for my money. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to treat you like this. You can go voucher for my money. That's what you can do. That's the best thing you can do. You can go voucher for my bread. Other than that, I ain't trying to play. You can't be on my side in all these positions you play. And then I'm the one talking about these real issues about this 1-year-old child. That's the worst case of pedophilia in your country that you didn't even know about. And guess what? It happened to a black child. That's what makes it so bad. And guess what? It was a black mother that did the sex act. Guess what makes it 3 times bad? It was a policeman that made a black mother perform a sex act on her black child. Right here in America. How black community didn't get that? That's your own people. And you think I take you seriously when you talk about pedophilia? Man, you can't be serious, man. That's 7 hour. You can't be serious. Ain't nothing you can say. How you gonna be a vigilante for children, but you ain't know about Officer Shadrick Jones? It's a legend almost. This is like a legend. Officer Shadrick Jones that made a mother perform a sex act on a 1-year-old child in America? This happened less than 10 years ago? That's how you need to hear it. It happened less than 10 years ago. This wasn't a decade ago. This is within the same decade. This is within the first